when they come and visit me. Also, I think that is also a part of wealth. So money is definitely wealth. I'm not denying, but happiness, health, and I mean freedom to do what you want to do can also be ascribed as a concept in wealth. Yeah.
Well said, sir. Well said. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else wants to share? Maybe one last person, if there is
For
anybody.
me, for me,
Yeah, hi,
uh,
Vishu.
it is time.
Time.
What Mr. Anand said, absolutely. But it gives you time to pursue what you want, and that includes health, wealth, and happiness, whatever. But it does buy you time, and not in terms of biological time, but the time that you can spend on pursuing what you want, and that's the freedom. That's the greatest freedom.
Yeah,
Coming from
brilliant.
a
Yeah, brilliantly
working
put, Vishu.
background,
And I think some of you have attended, my coaching programs, right, in the past. And as you know, that I firmly believe that time is money, right? And in fact, this whole basis of the software that I'm going to unveil today is nothing but time, right? It is all based on the principles of time, right? Which is a very different concept. So I didn't want to jump into the technical straight away. I just wanted to, sort of understand a little bit about the pulse of what you feel about wealth, because that's very important, right? The context setting. Yeah. Yeah. Please continue, Vishu. You want to add something
that's
more?
it. The time to get up in the morning, have a cup
Yeah.
of tea without worrying
Yeah.
to see the faces of your bosses
Be
or
your
whoever
own
it is,
boss. Be your own
or be
boss,
your own boss with the
right?
freedom, with enough comfort to see that you can do. You have enough at your back end to take care of your needs, of your family needs, and you have the time to do what you want. That's it. That's the ultimate freedom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Anybody else wants to go? I think very nice views put across. See, can I summarize, wealth in one word? You know, Wealth is nothing but energy, right? Whether you call it, I mean, it's ultimately everything that you see, everything that exists around us, right? Whether animate or inanimate. At the end of the day, I mean, if you go to the quantum level, right, according to Einstein's theory, right, everything is, ultimately a vibration, right? And even anything that we perceive around us, right, whether it's sound, right, or whether it's light, whether it's light or sound or any form of communication, right? Everything is made of some frequency, some vibration, right? I mean, anything that is vibrates has a frequency, right? So wealth also has a frequency, right? So which means that if you can alter the frequency at which you operate, you can attract wealth, right? And how many of you, just a show of hands, how many of you know or believe in the law of attraction, or have heard about it, or know about it, or practice it? Just drop in a note in the chat box. I mean, just type in a one if you're already aware, or just raise your hands. Just show of hands, right? So the point of that, the law of attraction is also the same, like it says that everything starts in the mind, right? The universe has a collective mind, right? So all you need to attract something in your life is to just tune to the right frequency, right? It's literally like a radio, right? Tuning into the channel. If you want to listen to, red FM, you switch to whatever 95.5, right? If you want to switch channel, you switch the frequency. So literally, the advanced practitioners, right, of the law of attraction, they follow techniques that you are able to literally switch frequency at your own will, right? So your wish literally becomes a command to the universe, and the universe sort of conspires to make it. How many of you have read the book or seen the movie called The Secret? Right? It's a book by Rhonda Byrne, and it sort of also made into a movie, with all the sort of the modern spiritual teachers and leaders, in it. So definitely, I think it's there on YouTube, so you can go and watch it at your free time. It's a couple of hours movie, I think, right? But it talks about the same thing, right? It's just about, if you want to manifest, or how many of you have, believe in the power of manifestation, that, that if the mind of man can conceive, it can achieve, right? I don't know who said that, but it's a famous quote, right? If the mind of man can conceive, it can achieve. So anything that is created or will be created tomorrow, even the software that I built, right? I literally manifested it in the sense that, I just woke up one day and wanted to do it, right? And so I sort of visualized it in my mind first. भाई क्या बनाना है, right? What do I want to build, right? I sketched it. I tried some iterations, and product was not even ready. I just gave a demo to, few of my students, and most of them were sort of convinced in, what I was doing, even without giving them anything, access to anything, right? And I think some of them are already here. So that gave me, a lot of क्या बोलते हैं, energy, right? To go and actually do it. I mean, it was a very laborious task for me personally, right? I literally coded because I'm a one-man army right now, right? I don't have a single employee, right? Just to be very transparent and honest with all of you, except probably, with some help with marketing and other things, right? So I do everything on my own. So the entire software that I'm going to show you today is every line of it is done by me. Every screen, every concept, everything is just came to my head, and then I channelized it through code, and then something came across. I didn't know that what will come across, right? Even like about a month back. And I was pleasantly surprised by the results, right? Even I feel that the results are unbelievable. Now, as they say, any fund manager will tell you that results cannot be guaranteed, right? But at least what I could crunch with numbers based on the past history, and the history is not just 1 or 2 days or few months, right? I've literally analyzed more than 500 stocks, uh, across the NSE. And those stocks which doesn't have a 10 years history were automatically eliminated. So any kind of IPOs, just minted stocks, I haven't even considered because there is no data for me to analyze, correct? And if there is no data, this whole framework falls apart. This whole framework is built on data, right? And I'll come to that in a second. So what I'm trying to say is that your mind is probably the most powerful thing that you possess. And if there is anything that you can do to improve, the capacity of the mind, you should definitely, try and latch onto it, right? Whether it's learning how to manifest things. I've always been a good manifester in my life. I don't know why. I mean, everything that has happened, you know, uh, I've kind of visualized that, and then it happens, right? So I don't know, maybe, there is a strong connection. So basically, you may call it connection to God or connection to some, higher powers, right? But all of you have it within you. The giant is sleeping within you. You just have to, just awaken, or just it may need a little bit spark, little bit nudge here and there, but all of you have the power to achieve whatever you want in life. Let me tell you this, right? Nothing can stop you other than your own limiting beliefs. And you know where these limiting beliefs comes from? Anybody has any ideas where how do you pick up these limiting beliefs that I cannot do this, or you tag yourself, oh, I am that, I am destined to be poor, or I can never be rich, right? We constantly, there is a chatter that is going on in your mind, and you're constantly, giving yourself a score, right? As if, somebody gave you the duty to score yourself, right? And sometimes we become our harshest critic, whether we like it or not. Now, you won't believe that every thought that you generate has a frequency, right? Now what is happening is that thought that you're generating in your head, that frequency, what is happening, that frequency is going out into the universe, right? And the universe is saying, oh, this guy wants to be poor, he is emitting the I am poor frequency, and the universe gives that back to you. It's like, there is a big satellite receiver sitting out there, right? It is incepting your frequencies, and it is sending it back to you. It is basically amplifying what you are thinking right now. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? Anybody? So कहने का मतलब ये है, right, that whatever is happening in your life or is going to happen today, tomorrow, day after, in a month's time, in a year's time, you are manifesting it just using your mind, nothing else. So this whole, this spiritual industry is built around how you can blank out your mind, right? I mean, this whole, whether you call it transcendental meditation or any kinds of, rituals that we perform, right? Whether it's the beach mantras, we were hearing a very beautiful mantras, right? I mean, so every ritual is designed around, removing all these limiting beliefs, negative thoughts from the mind, and raising the levels of vibration so that whatever you want to achieve, you can do it. Now, whether it's with wealth, health, or anything that you want to get in your life, whether it's the dream villa or the dream car or the dream destination, or just, lazing around doing nothing, right? Having the time freedom, right? All of it starts with a shift within you, right? Nobody else can trigger it unless you are ready to be triggered. Yeah. So I think, the summary of this conversation is that if you want to become wealthy, start changing the frequency. Start shifting from a poor mindset. How many of you have read Rich Dad and Poor Dad? Or how many sort of believe in that idea, right? So a rich person will always figure out ways to get richer, right? Because they are constantly thinking how they will put their money to work so that it compounds, right? And they will spread their money across different asset classes. They will never take debt, right? In fact, Warren Buffett, right? The probably one of the wealthiest man who has amassed a huge amount of wealth, right? That we can only dream of. He said there is a very simple formula, right? To build wealth. So basically, if you can, start from your first paycheck, starting from your first paycheck, right? If you can take 10% to 20% of that and think that it doesn't belong to you, right? It belongs to your future, and put it in any safe funds, right? I mean, back then, 20 years back when I started, obviously, these mutual funds and all that was not very popular. I mean, of course, mutual funds were there. Even stock market was there. But the whole concept of passive investing, right, through ETFs, that was not there, right? Whereas US, if you look at the Vanguards and, all the pension funds of the world, right? Vanguard is one of the biggest, right? They have a very rich legacy of this passive funds, right? So if you would have parked 20% of your paycheck every month, right, in a simple ETF and never looked at it for the next 20 years, automatically you would have been a millionaire. All of you would have been a millionaire by now on autopilot just by doing nothing, right? So wealth is about mastering your the frequency of money, right? If you can master that, then you will figure out ways and means of making money, right? And all of you are uniquely talented, right? Some of you may be good in this, some of you may be good in that, but you could leverage your skills only if you have the right frequency here down in whatever is going on inside between the 2 ears, right? That's the most important thing you need to be mindful of, right? So any questions so far? Do anybody want to share your own experience, based on what you have heard, or anything that you want to add to what I said? Are you able to relate? Is it relatable to you, or is it sounding like Greek to you? कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो बताइए, right? I'll try to make it simple. Maybe just type in a yes if you're able to relate to what I'm saying right now, or what I just
Sir,
stated.
sir, please speak in Hindi. I can't
Uh,
understand so much in English.
सर आई एम नॉट ए हिंदी नेटिव पर्सन, तो कभी कभी मैं ट्राई करूंगा हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए।
Please, please.
अगर कुछ समझ में नहीं आया आप चैट में लिख दीजिए, आई विल ट्राई टू ट्रांसलेट, बट विल ट्राई टू कीप इट mix of, because I think we have a lot of people from the south also who don't understand Hindi. So maybe I can conduct a separate session in Hindi later, but I'll try to, sort of keep it in both the language if you don't mind.
I got
Yeah, hi.
the person who asked you about the Hindi thing, right? Just tell him on, just switch on the subtitles so that he can read it, and there will be no miscommunication between the two parties.
That's a great suggestion. Thanks, Simranjit. Deepak ji, can you do that?
I will try.
Maybe you can type on the chat box, Simranjit, exactly how that can be done so that everybody who wants
Okay,
to.
so next to the participants, there is CC. Just click on it, and everyone can see the subtitle, whatever the Gautam sir is speaking. It will be a delay of 3 to 4 seconds by the Zoom. But if your internet is very fine, you will get the subtitles just beautifully, just like we are talking about.
No, these days AI has become super good at translation, right? In fact,
So,
this whole GPT thing, right? The chat GPT thing is all about language translation only, right? In a
But
beautiful.
ये इंग्लिश में ही आ रहा है ये. It is not in हिंदी. इंग्लिश को इंग्लिश में दे रहा है वो.
नहीं नहीं आप उसमें लैंग्वेज सिलेक्ट करिए, डिफॉल्ट इंग्लिश आएगा, लेकिन कैप्शन
ठीक है.
लैंग्वेज करके आएगा, उसमें आप हिंदी नीचे जाना पड़ेगा, एच में आपको हिंदी दिखेगा.
जो आप हिंदी में बोल रहे हो वो हमें हिंदी में दिख रहा है ऐसे.
बढ़िया है,
ठीक
बढ़िया
है.
है. Thanks for that suggestion, Simranjit ji.
No worries.
Thanks.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Thanks. So
All right.
Gautam, I do agree regarding the passive investing part of it, right? So I've experienced myself over a period of time. So basically, I do believe that in your younger age, right, you can focus more of your energies on the things that you are trained for, that is at your job, and excel there, rather than trying to, figure out what is the best way to do your investment. And I basically put in, 70% of my savings, monthly savings, used to go into, Nifty Bs, right, since 2007. And once, I was um, relatively free in 2018-19, I started to dabble directly into, knowing more about the stocks and selecting my own portfolio, right? So by that time, there was enough, you can say, corpus for me to, work in by enough corpus to basically get into, stocks directly, because I believe that every asset market needs a minimum value of corpus for you to basically make some good returns and enjoy the benefits of that asset.
Yeah. Yeah, so see, there is a benefit of starting young, right? I mean, if you start in your 20s, like by the time, like I am like very close to 50s, right? Like maybe 3 years I'll be 50. So if I would have started, I started my career when at the age of 21, 22, right? That's when we start out of college. And I'll talk a little bit about my journey, right, as well, so that you get to know who I am and where I come from. Um, so, I've spent what, literally, more than 25 years, right, in the industry, and probably this is my 26th year. So imagine, if I would have done that, obviously I did not do that, right? I was guilty of not doing that. And I would have probably had a few more millions in my bank account today, right? But that's probably the simple advice that I will give my son, right? Or anybody young, right? Today, I wish, the schools and colleges would teach kids, the time value of money. People simply don't understand the power of compounding, right? And I will show you the power of compounding, micro compounding rather, right? Through my software, and what kind of wealth it can. In fact, it seems too unbelievable. Let me tell you this, right? When you see the numbers, you will agree with me that कैसे हो सकता है, right? It is not even possible. Okay, but we'll come to that numbers, right? So, any questions, on wealth, or anybody wants to share your own perspective or your own journey, maybe one or two sharings, I can allow, and then I will move on to the next part. Anybody wants to share anything? All right. So, are you able to all see the presentation on the screen? Can I have just 1 second? Can I have one volunteer who can say yes or no to my question? Maybe whom can I have as a volunteer? I just need one volunteer, who will reciprocate, right? Yes and no, and so who wants to volunteer? you can be on, unmuted so
I
that
can
you
do
can.
it.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, Arsenio, thank you so much. So just, respond while I'm speaking so that I know that, my voice is clear and it is reaching the audience, right? And in case something happens, technical glitch, do let me know, right? So, so coming back to the subject of today, is to showcase my app, but I thought I'll just, give you a little bit of context. So, so the real, if you really want to master wealth, you'll have to master the frequency, right? The frequency of at which your mind is operating, right? And I'll talk a little bit about um, what you can do about it or how I can help and what plans I have, right? That I'll talk about later. And the second thing that I'm revealing through my app is some patterns that I have backtested with like I said, I've studied all the 500 Nifty stocks and I've analyzed 10 years of data. Anything that doesn't have a minimum is 7 years. Anything that doesn't have 7 to 10 years of data, I've completely eliminated them, right? And I've analyzed, I will talk about the analysis also. And then I've picked the best of the patterns. I will talk about what is a pattern in a while, right? And then, you need to have a decisive mindset, right? You need to be able to think differently, right? From the normal way of, what are the traditional ways of investing, right? What are the investing that you are aware of? Can I see some, can you type on the chat box? What are your modes of investing today that you have done or are aware of? Can I see some things on the chat box? What type of investment are you aware of or have done in your life?
Basic is FDs. Then after that, maybe your all
Correct.
this mutual fund
FD,
portfolio.
land, gold, right?
Yeah,
So
gold.
in India, I think if you take maybe the pie chart of wealth, right, for a typical Indian, I am pretty sure that 70% would be, 70 to 80% or maybe more, right, would probably be a combination of real estate and FD. Am I right in saying that? At least in the Indian context?
Yes.
Very few people probably have gone to equity, right? Of course, there is fear, there is greed, there's lack of knowledge, but the simplest way, we have seen a big campaign about mutual funds here, right? I mean, of course, it's been chanting about that, right, for a long time, and I think obviously, people's awareness about investments have literally grown, and mutual funds is the safest way, and SIP is the safest way to get into the market, right? I mean, it's almost a no-brainer. You can literally, back in my days, when I started my, days, a guy used to come and, I used to fill up those forms and give them some post-dated checks, and that was it, right? So every month, 5,000, 10,000, jo bhi hai, it would get credited into my mutual fund. And the best thing is put, so first law of investing, let me tell you, simply subtract 100 minus your age, right? So let's say if I am 50, then I should not have more than 50% of my assets in anything risky, right? Ideally, probably little less than that, right? So you can always put 20 to maybe 20% is a good number, right? The 80-20 principle. And depending on the value of your asset, of course, right? If you are sitting on 10 crores, let's say, right? You can always risk with 1 crore, right? Because that's healthy for you. If you have 10 lakhs balance, then maybe 1 or 2 lakhs is maximum you can risk, right? So again, how much you risk is a proportion of how much you have, right? Of course, you need security in terms of your house, and all the other things, right? Your retirement corpus, your children's education, your marriage, children's marriage and all that. And by the time you perform all those commitments and duties, you are probably in your 50s and 60s. And by the time, even if you want wealth, wealth may not want you, right? Because you have already passed the time maybe to enjoy the wealth. But it is also true that, somebody like Warren Buffett made most of his wealth after he was, 60, right? Warren Buffett probably made more wealth in the last 5 to 10 years than he did probably in his first 30 years, right? And that is where the compounding sort of kicks in, right? And if you do not understand compounding, then I think you are missing out the whole um, part about how to build wealth, right? The whole secret about building wealth is the power of compounding. There is no other formula that makes you wealthy than the power of compounding, right? And the second thing is diversification and risk, right? So obviously you cannot, if you have 100 rupees, you cannot put all your 100 rupees in one basket. There's a first law of risk management, right? So you have to minimum pick 5 different baskets, asset classes, right? So anything that you need tomorrow, right? Let's say emergency, medical bills, jo bhi hai, right? Family can needs 3 months of, like if somebody loses a job, right? 3 to 6 months of, roti, kapda, makan, right? In terms of, so whatever you need to survive, right? That should definitely be in your FD, nowhere else, right? Ideally, you should have at least 6 to 9 months of your living expenses plus some emergency medical expenses and all saved away in FDs. You should never touch that fund. That is an emergency fund that you only use in the event of an emergency, right? Second is you need to have insurance. Insurance doesn't mean the typical sort of things. Insurance is basically a way to diversify risk again, risk of your life. What will happen if your income goes away tomorrow, right? So your family will be in distress, right? Your kids' education expenses will not be covered, right? Or your marriage expenses will not be covered. So it is very, very important that you assess what is the capital requirement. So imagine you don't exist tomorrow, God forbid, right? Just for the sake of this conversation, what will happen to your loved ones, right, if you don't exist, or if your income goes away tomorrow? So you should have that much pure term insurance, right? I mean, you can even spread it across 2 or 3 term insurances, but you should have something that is equivalent to, will be able to, help your family in your absence, right? Because that money that you pay to the insurance company is never going to come back. And don't mix investment with insurance, because insurance is purely meant to protect, against an uncertain event. What is an uncertain event? You not being here, right, in this world. There is an uncertain event, right? And you need to at least protect your family till your family is able to take care of themselves, meaning your kids have grown up and they are earning, or they're well settled in life. At that point, you probably don't need the term insurance, but you will need a very good medical insurance, right? So by the time you are 30s and all, you should definitely build a history of, I mean, you should, obviously your company covers a lot for those who are employed. For those who aren't self-employed or, running your own business, I'm sure all of you have your health and medical insurance. So make sure today, the kind of, diseases that comes, COVID happens, this happens, that happens, right? Health has become a priority, right? So it is very, very important to have a very generous, um, I would say, you should definitely, take up a very good medical insurance, right, from a trusted company, right? So these two are must-haves, right? It is, you should almost treat them as your mandatory expenses. So pay these things first before you do any other things. I mean, a lot of people, especially those who, I guess, of us from Bangalore and IT backgrounds, right? The first thing we do is, buy a big house, right? How many of you are guilty of that, right? I mean, and then, you feel that you have gotten on a treadmill that you will have to be for the rest of your life. How many of you are in that boat? Somebody says no, right? How many of you feel that you are happy with the EMI you're paying your bank right now, whether it's for your home or your car or any other luxuries, right, that you are affording right now? So have you done the mathematics of that, right? I mean, by the time, let's say you take a 1 crore ka property, right, and you take a, let's assume for the sake of the discussion, आपने 1 crore का loan ले लिया, right? And let's say, it's a 20-year term or 30-year term, जो भी है. So by the time, you will end up paying the loan, you have almost paid the bank, you will calculate at least 2x, probably more, depending on the tenure, right? Which means what? I mean, do you think your property value will appreciate so much that by the time you settle your loan, that the property will be far more valuable than the loan that you took to buy it, right? Which means probably, as an investment, home has zero value. I mean, of course, it is different if you have, let's say, an ancestral land and all, which can be developed, because land is a scarce asset, right? And land can be utilized to, land will constantly increase in value, right? You can demolish whatever is there, or you can convert agricultural land into commercial land, and that is how, things have been developing, right? I mean, the bounds of the cities are expanding. The people from the rural and are moving into urban, and they want a good life and all. That is how things happen, right? Generally, people come to the cities, to make a good life, right? I mean, whether it's Bangalore, Mumbai, whatever. So the point is that you know you have to know how much money you should put on each of these baskets, right? So first is protection, right? Protect your life, protect your family's life. So health protection and your life protection, that is mandatory, right? So that you should do first. Then, obviously, if anybody have seen the rise of gold in the last 2 years, you know that it is a fantastic asset class. Even Nifty has probably not given that much returns, as much returns as gold and silver. It's given some crazy returns in the last 2 years. And so why it has given crazy returns? Because the world has moved into a very uncertain place. I mean, you can look around the world, what is happening around us. Uh, Even every leader in the world is fighting, right? I mean, whether it's for some political capital or geopolitical things, right? So I mean, a lot of things are going to unfold. There are a lot of predictions around uh, things that are going to happen, and there is obviously a business cycle at play, right? I mean, everything that happens in nature is cyclical, right? So there is this whole 100-year cycles. Then you can take half of that, the 50-year jubilee cycles, and you can take 10-year cycles. So these are all cycles, right? And cycles will play out, right? I mean, if you look back 100 years, almost 100 years back, right? 1929, we had the Great Depression, right? I mean, it was one of the worst moments in American history. I mean, in fact, probably the world's history as well. And that led to, sort of a complete shift in wealth. Every depression will bring in a shift in wealth. I mean, something new will replace something that worked before, right? And I think we are very closely heading towards that moment, right? We are also exactly about 100 years, in 2-3 years, we'll reach that stage. So a fundamental shift is going to happen, right, in the next 5 years. A lot of pundits, a lot of cycle analysts have been talking about that for probably a couple of years. I'm hearing now. It is expected that market is going to peak sometime in 2026 or maybe early 2027, and then we can see some massive correction. Right, as much as, I mean, in my life at least, the biggest correction that I have witnessed is the 2008 financial crisis. Right, I remember. I was working for a hedge fund, one of the largest hedge fund in the world, right? In fact, that was my first job. I got into that in 2001. And I was there when this thing happened, right? Lehman just became bankrupt overnight, right? And the entire financial system was on the verge of collapse, just overnight. Because all those brilliant minds, the brilliant mathematicians, and the hedge fund managers, all passed from good alumni institutes, right? The Harvards and the Stanfords of the world. They all were swimming in the same boat, and they were all naked, right? That was what it was. It says that just intelligence and brilliance cannot sort of create wealth, right? You need something far more things than just pure academic insights, right, to build wealth, right? So obviously, so uh, that was a that was a moment of reckoning. And 2008, if you just go and study the chart, right, it was one of the biggest crash in recent times, right? Obviously there was a Harshad Mehta scam, but I wasn't very active in the market at that time. That happened in 1992. So the things that I can remember in my memory goes back to that 2000 dot-com burst, right? But that was not that massive, right? It was only limited to the IT sector bubble. A lot of these dot-com companies came up. Everybody any business that could attach a dot-com to it would become like a overnight success, and then it had to burst. I mean, I think AI also, a lot of people say that, it's in a bubble, so we don't know what else going to happen. It could be that there is a short-term bubble because there is a lot of money, billions and trillions of dollars flowing, and a few companies, right? I mean, it's just the top 5, 6 companies of the world are putting in trillions of dollars, just to make a superhuman, right? But then, there are practical limitations because see, all these AI is very, very compute hungry, meaning it runs on electricity, literally. So in order to, generate that, when you type in that message and for it to come back, it is actually processing, millions and millions of tokens and then coming up with that response. That is why it is also slow, right? So which means, the only limitation for AI as of today is the amount of electricity that is available for consumption. And given the massive expansion of data centers, even Jeff Bezos has clearly said that Earth, right, doesn't have the capacity to accommodate AI at the scale of compute that it needs. They are now conceiving that, okay, how can we ship our
ड्राइवर की पहले
data centers, how can we ship our data centers literally to space, outer space, right? Because like how we build space stations, right? So we can actually build little sort of droplets of data centers all around the Earth. And the thing is, the sun's light is abundant, right? When you go outside the surface, there is no concept of day and night in space, right? Which means pretty much, there is abundance of energy. And sun is the only thing that, is the life force, right? The vital for our life force. In fact, I'll tell you a lot about sun when I get to my thing, because sun has the whole concept of seasonality is nothing but following the sun cycle, right? That's the thing. So sun is very, very important for powering all the energy needs in the earth, which means, if there is no sun tomorrow, then the life will perish, right? So the only way to, make sure that, because we have 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night, but if you go to outer space, you have almost like literally, 24/7 access to sun. And you can do, infinite amount, you can keep expanding, right? Your data centers in space, and then you can do infinite amount of compute, right? Because the amount of compute that happens inside the neurons of the brain, right? I don't think any AI has been built as of today, and I don't know whether it will be built in the next 10 years also, that can match the level of intelligence that is, goes on in the human mind. Even after so much advancement, the state of the art AI is nothing but a glorified token generator. That's it. You give it certain inputs, it has all the corpus of knowledge. Even this knowledge that I'm generating right now on this call, right? Somebody will index it, and that becomes knowledge, right, for the AI. So all the AI does is able to pick the best knowledge and give you a summary. And it is able to do that, so blazing fast that we think and sense that it is intelligent, but that is not real intelligence, right? A real intelligence is, you know, you need to have the power of intuition, which I don't think any machines today have the power of intuition, right? You need to have this thing called this. There is this thing, right? I mean, if you understand sort of at a spiritual level, right? We are all connected, right? So there is an universal consciousness that is, we are all connected at that level, right? Um, but machines will probably never reach there. They will not develop something called uh, universal consciousness, right? Although, so all this chatter is basically, a way to create a hype around this latest and greatest technology, so that more and more investors can join in, right? So it is nothing more than that. Anyway, so that was a little bit of a side talk. So I got a little diverted to, so what but maybe, just to cut the story short, if you want to build wealth, you start with your mind first. Take care of your mind, change the frequency. I will be able to equip with other kinds of things that will make you wealthy, right? But changing the frequency, although I want to, I probably am not the most qualified person. So I'll announce that I'm trying to reach out to somebody, or essentially say partner with somebody, right? Who has probably been to all of the greatest coaches in the world when it comes to mindset mastery. She's also a practicing, life coach herself. And she has expressed interest to sort of join me on this journey. And I would be excited to invite you all to an exclusive 3-day mastermind, right? Which will happen on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of December, which is next week, right? So anyways, I'll send out a separate invitation for that. So it will be, I hope, it will be the first time I think we'll be doing this together. But the intent is to sort of, also give you tools, right, of mindset mastery. Because if you cannot figure out, your mind, then you probably can never reach that end goal, right? So that's the whole thing. So now let's move on. See, I will probably straight away jump to the app. I'm just browsing you quickly, through some data points, and I will show you on the app itself. So basically, I have a tiered model access. So there is a free tier, there is pro tier is not yet open. So I have 2 tiers right now. One is a free tier. So basically, a lot of you will say, Gautam, can I get a demo and all that? So instead of me giving a demo, I will invite you all to just log into the app. And once you have gone through this, you will have the context. So you'll be able to experience it for yourself. Only limitation is that you will probably have very limited set of patterns. That is enough for you to understand the concept. Okay. So anybody can join for free. There is no limitation. There is no restriction. But those who believed in me, those who believed in my concept, and those who have already invested, right, in this, subscribed for the first year, they will have access to these 16,000 plus validated patterns. And this is, after me scanning 2 million potential opportunities, right? I have built a scoring algorithm of how to eliminate certain patterns, because as a human mind, I don't need so much. Even 16,000 is way too much, right? I don't need them, but it is there. So if you need them, if you want them, it is there for you, right? And then, I focus on something called win rate. I'll come to that when I go to the app. And this is the kind of returns it has made. On an average, it has generated more than 200% returns per year. Now, what does it mean, right? Meaning every 100 rupees has generated additional 200 rupees through the power of micro compounding. And I will explain how that works directly in the app so that you'll be able to understand better. So which means your 100 rupees literally can become, 200 to 400 rupees every year, right? And let's say, if 100 rupees becomes 300 rupees in a year, then next year you are starting at 300 rupees, right? And that 300 rupees will generate, a lot more than the first year, because, you are starting with a higher base, right? And that is where compounding kicks in. So in the beginning, compounding seems like a linear. Like, kuch nahi ho raha hai, kuch nahi ho raha hai, maybe for the 3, 4, 5 years. And that also depends on how much is your starting capital, right? And see, this is pure equity based investments, right? That you will do on your own, right? The app will just be your guide. It will give you a calendar of when to enter something, when to exit. And each pattern is roughly about 3 to 5 days, not more than that. Roughly, more or less, average, right? You will probably have about 300 to 400 trades in a year, right? And you can control the amount of risk, amount of capital you want to invest. So I'll show all of that in the demo. So let me quickly go through the screens and see if there is anything important here before I can jump to the demo. So yeah, these are all things we can cover in, when we go to the mindset part next week. I'll just, yeah, so like, I think we already talked a lot about this, as within, so without, right? So the universe is nothing but mirroring your internal state. So, right? So whatever frequency you're emitting to the universe, and what is that frequency? It's the frequency of your thoughts. It's the frequency at which you are vibrating. That determines what the universe gives back to you. So please remember this law, and this is based on quantum principles, right? So it is not my invention. This is a a 3,000-year-old secret, and our ancient forefathers, and this comes from the Vedas, right? So it is nothing that I have invented, but maybe some of us have lost touch, right? So maybe it is very important that you should go back and connect to your roots, right? So if you cannot change what is within, you cannot change what is without, because the world is just mirroring who you are and what you are inside, right? So that's the crux of this frequency. So we will talk about how we can alter, and that is why I'm inviting a very special guest next week, who probably has more mastery on this topic than I have, and she will definitely be able to help all of you on this journey of wealth mastery, right? So yeah, let's move on. We'll dive deep more on this. This is just a little bit of a preview of what you can expect. So I don't want to go very deep. These are all some Gyan. I think I can skip this slide. I have already shared the PDF. You can go through it. Yeah, so this is what I was saying, right? It's all of us, are little receivers with an antenna, right? So I mean, you must have heard of different waves, right? Alpha, beta, gamma, theta, delta, etc. So, when we are in a very deep state, right, we are operating at certain frequency, right? When you are in a wakeful state, but just about to wake up and all, then your frequency changes. So these are all, things that is required to keep us healthy, right? When you are sleeping, a lot of regeneration of the cells and nervous system is happening. That is why you're reset. You're alive again. So you sort of die and you wake up again, right? And you're alive, right? So that is why sleep is again very, very directly proportional to your health, right? So if you cannot have a good sleep, then you cannot have a healthy life, right? So sleep is very, very important, and working on or tuning to the right frequency in your mind is also very, very important, right? So if you're operating from a scarcity mindset, you will always feel that oh, you are destined to be poor, this I can never do it, right? So all these negative words that you are emitting, right, whether it's through your words or through your mouth, is actually harming you more than you realize, right? So you, every time a negative thought comes in your mind, you have to change it to a positive frequency, right? And you will see a difference, right? So obviously, I do not have the tools to give you, but I have invited a special guest, and she'll be able to give you a lot more of these tools, so that you can shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, right? Because if you cannot do this shift, no amount of knowledge is going to give you wealth, let me tell you that. And that's the sad part of it, right? So and that is one of my realization, because since I started coaching, I probably talked to more than 200 people one to one. And I realized that everybody wants to be wealthy, right? Who doesn't want to be? But they do not have the right mindset, or the right tool set, or the right knowledge and the skill set to do it, right? And obviously, I'm not a big mindset person, because see, I have obviously worked on my mindset, but I can't coach you on the mindset part. That is a gap that I have. So I was looking for partners, and luckily I have found somebody now. So I hope, if I can combine, if I can alter your mindset and then give you the skill set, then you will be a more powerful person than what I can just make you through my software, my tools, right? Because the software is only hitting an intelligent part of your brain, right? But there are other things that are happening in your brain which my software can't fix, right? That's the unfortunate part. And I feel that in order to make a true transformation, right, in somebody, I need to work on both, right? Otherwise, a real transformation cannot happen, right, just by giving you software, right? So that's the crux of it. Anyways, we'll come back to that. So watch out for an invitation next week. It is going to be scheduled on Thursday, exactly next Thursday, 1 week from now, Thursday, Friday. It will be a 3-day session, completely free. All of you are, welcome to join. You are all like members to me. So please keep your calendars free and try to join. We'll try to keep it at the same slot, 7 to 9 p.m., so that all of you can join. And I don't think I'll be able to share the recording, because you need to be really coming to the class and experience it. So please do not request for a recording of the class. But I definitely welcome you all to experience it, right? And we'll talk a lot about these tools. In fact, one of the tools maybe I'll send you after this class, right? So if you want to attract the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, I mean, this is a very, very powerful mantra. I will share a YouTube video. So if you can, start your day, or anytime when you're at peace, or sitting for some important work, if you can just spare 10 minutes, 15 minutes to just maybe chant it 108 times, you can come back and tell me how you feel, right? Maybe 10 days after, 15 days after, because there's nothing to lose, right? You will only gain something. And of course, it is not about religion, it is not about being a Hindu or anything like that, right? So if you have your own spiritual practice, by all means follow that. But I'm saying spend that time, right, connecting with the other side, that what I said, right, the universal consciousness, right? So all these mantras are designed to alter the frequency, nothing else, right? And there has been, there has been a lot of these fMRI scans that has been done, right, while people are meditating, and it definitely creates an altered state of consciousness in the brain. And it has been researched and well researched topic. You can go and Google it, you will find it. So it is very, very important to connect with your real self, right? That is hiding it within you. You can be the most busiest person in the world, doesn't matter, right? Wake up a little early, right? In fact, there is this concept of Brahma Muhurtam, right, in Hindu, thing, right? I mean, in South India, especially, I've seen all the priests, any kind of housewarming you want to do, any sacred ceremony you want to do, they will always advise you to do it Brahma Muhurtam, right? Which is basically when the nature as is most potent with energy. Everything is calm outside, including your mind, right? Because you have just woken up from that state of deep sleep, and you're just waking up. The nature is also waking up, the energy is rising. So anything that you want to plan or change in your life, right, if you can do it in that moment, I think it's around 3:45 every day, it's the Brahma Muhurtam, right? So that 15-20 minutes or half an hour, right, if you can just wake up, do this meditation, do this chanting, and then go to sleep, that's fine. But those, all the best CEOs in the world, right, they all wake up early. There is this thing called 4 a.m. club, right? So, if you really want to achieve massive success in your life, you will also have to change the way you live your life, right? So waking up early and connecting with yourself, right? Getting that energy back, starting the day with full energy will give you, a lot more. I mean, I have personally seen that, when I wake up early and do things, I feel that the day is much, much longer. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? Whereas if I
Yes.
wake up at 9 a.m. and I start the day, I feel lazy for the rest of the day. Are you able to connect with me? So what is that? See, everything, all of us are energy beings. So if the energy is not flowing inside, how will we contribute to the world, whether it's your job or to your family or whatever else that you do, right? For doing anything, you need energy, right? So first wake up in the morning and work on your energy, elevating you to a level where you feel that anything is possible, right? So believe in the art of possible and work on that, right? So we'll talk a lot about that in the coming week. And this is a case study, I'll show you, literally, how wealth can be built, right, through my tool, and what kind of data I have seen, right, through the app. So I'll go back to the app and show that to you. So yeah, so patterns, right? So what is exactly a pattern, right? Now let's talk about that. Now see, in my definition of pattern, as far as this software is concerned, is basically a behavior of a certain stock in a certain duration, put very simply, right? Now, what is behavior mean? So behavior means, see, market can either move up or down, right? I mean, obviously sideways, but I don't take sideways as significant. All those things get filtered out, right? So what I'm trying to catch, let's say Jan 1 to Jan 10 is a period, and Reliance is a stock, right? And so is so many other stocks. So I can analyze what each of the stock have done between Jan 1 to Jan 10. And that is one period, right? I take all permutations of all periods. So for example, Jan 1 itself is a period. It's a 1 day period, right? Jan 1 to Jan 2 is also a period. It's a 2 day period. Jan 1 to Jan 3 is also a period. It's a 3 day period, right? So like that, I have taken all possible periods, of course, and then I realized that, there is no point on going beyond a certain length. I mean, if you follow the moon cycle calendar, right, 14, 15 days is the right sort of maximum duration you should look at, right? At least in the thing that I am doing. So I have picked ultimately I've decided to pick a duration of 3 to 15 days. I've eliminated all other durations after careful analysis, right? Which means that all my patterns that you will see in the app, their duration will be from 3 days to 15 days, meaning your holding period, to buy or to short. And if you don't want to short, that is also possible. So you can only do a long only strategy, right? It will only give you bullish patterns. So patterns are two types. It can be either bullish or bearish. Now, how do I classify something as bullish? So what I do is I take the data on the start date and end date. Now, if let's say if the price of Reliance on the start day was 100 and on the end day it is 120, it means that the stock has gained 20 points, no, in this period, which means it has a 20% profit, correct? Whereas if a stock started at 100 and then lost 20 rupees, then it has lost, 20% on for that year. Now what we do is we take all the data for all the 10 years and then we take an average. Now, if the average is more than a certain number, I mean, I usually use a 1% threshold, right? I mean, if it can't even generate 1%, तो उसका फायदा क्या है, right? So if the average is more than 1%, then I classify that as a bullish pattern, right? If the average is negative, then that is classified as a bearish pattern, right? Anything that is very close to zero, I kind of call them neutral and I eliminate them, right? मान लो उसका average 0.5 है, उसका क्या फायदा है? मतलब it is almost close to zero, मतलब कुछ return दे ही नहीं. I mean, it has not given any kind of significant momentum, right? On an average. And there are certain patterns, which will give you an average return of 5% also, 10% also, you will see in the app, right? Obviously in the mid and small cap space, not in the large cap space. So what does it mean? Now, the second factor that I consider is the frequency again. Frequency means what? I have 10 occurrences, right? Because I've studied for 10 years. Now, if 7 out of 10 years, it has given a positive move, right? That means I can trust that pattern. It is a probability theory, right? If 7 out of 10, that means the probability of winning is 70%. If it is 8 out of 10 times, the probability of winning is 80%. Yeah. And I will show you patterns. At least I think there are 20 of them, which has 100% probability, meaning every year in the last 10 years, in that specific period, it has given a positive return. वो भी है. So, and I have only handpicked these 70, 80, 90 percenters because those are my star performers, right? I have eliminated the rest. After that, I have gotten the 16,000 patterns. Yeah. So that is the amount of rigor that has gone into even identify what can I potentially trade. So that is your entire trading universe, right? And then what I did is, then I said, okay, how do I trade these 16,000 patterns? It is humanly not possible. इतना trade कर ही नहीं सकते कोई. Then I said, okay, let us build a portfolio optimizer or a portfolio builder. Imagine, I hired a professional fund manager. So I asked, what will a professional fund manager do if they had access to all these database of patterns? वो कैसे trade करेगा? Right? So now to give you an analogy, right? If you are a team manager of Indian cricket team, right? So, and then let's say you are deciding the batting order. तो आप कैसे decide करोगे? किसको नंबर 1 पे आना है, नंबर 2 पे किसको आना है? Would you send Bumrah to open the innings unless it's a क्या बोलते हैं वो night watchman type thing? You will not send a bowler, right, who is a pure bowler for as your opening batsman, right? Similarly, you will not send Virat Kohli to open the bowling, right? You will always send a Bumrah. So same thing, same analogy I applied. I said, okay, in this period, right, I have so many patterns. Can I take the top, like how we score and ranks, right, in a class? So I said, okay, let us give each one a rank, right, based on certain criteria. And criteria is, winning rate, Sharpe ratio, and so many other factors. Then I filter literally, the top 10% and I call them the 5-star patterns. These are my 5-star students or 5-star candidates, right? Then, whoever is in the top 20%, right? Then I give them 4 stars. Let's say, so 3, 4, 3. So I have a star rating system. So just to make it simple for you, instead of making it complex. So that 5-star matlab बढ़िया pattern है. Huh? So 4-star matlab, it is a very good pattern. 4-star, 3-star is also good, right? 2-star is good, but maybe not so good compared to the rest, right? And 1-star is a mediocre pattern, right? But you will see a lot of 1-star patterns, lot of 2-star patterns. But then, in a team, right, you can't have 12 Virat Kohlis, can you? Right? I mean, you need to have a mix of people, right, with different kind of skills. कोई इस टाइम पे काम करेगा, कोई उस टाइम पे. So every pattern has an inherent sort of thing, right? So then I said, okay, as a portfolio manager, मेरा goal क्या है? I have, let's say, limited amount of money. I don't have infinite money, ना. That अगर मेरे पास infinite money होता तो मतलब ठीक है 1-1 लाख डाल दे 16,000 patterns में, right? मेरे पास इतना है ही नहीं तो मैं इसे कैसे डालूं, right? So I said, boss, since you do not have infinite capital, you have only limited amount of capital. मान लो आपके पास 100 रुपया है and you have 16,000 patterns, तो आप कैसे trade करोगे? That is a problem statement, no, for the fund manager. I said, okay, let's do it this way. Let us decide कि मतलब मैं कितना रिस्क लेना चाहता हूँ मेरे कैपिटल के ऊपर, right? So let's say if I am an aggressive investor, I'm okay to take 90% risk. मतलब I can invest 90% of my capital. मतलब मेरे पास 100 रुपये है, मैं 90 I will try to make it work in the market at any given time, right? But if you're a risk averse, मतलब उतना risk नहीं लेना चाहते हो, then maybe a healthy ratio could be 60% for you. So you can define your risk. So there is a parameter when you build a portfolio. You can literally say, this is my risk level. Some presets are given to you based on aggressive, moderate, and all. So for example, in aggressive, you can go with 90% of your capital, right? If you're moderate, I've set it at 75%. If you're risk averse, then 60%. You can also set these parameters on your own, taki, you can control your risk. So that pretty much determines that kitna capital at any given time the fund manager will allocate, right? And if it reaches that threshold, it will not take any more trades. Clear? Is that clear to all of you? Right? So
Yes.
then the next question is, ठीक है चलो ये तो हो गया, I know my risk, but कहाँ पे, I mean, where should I allocate my, मतलब I have so many things again, even if I go and scan Jan 1 to 10, मुझे 100 patterns मिलेंगे, right? But I say this, then I decide, okay, what is the max position size? Because I cannot put too much risk in one stock, right? So then in the risky say, I said that okay, I do not want to manage more than 6 positions, because देखो position manage करना भी तो difficult होता है ना. 6 position मतलब मुझे 6 trade डालना पड़ेगा and manage करना पड़ेगा. I said it's okay, 6 trades I can manage simultaneously, right? So I put a cap that I do not want at any given time my portfolio should not have more than 6 stocks, right? And then I said that per stock I should not have more than, because I have a maximum allocation of 90%. So if I divide 90 by 6, I get 15%. That means I will not allocate more than 15% in any given trade, and I will not have more than 6 trades simultaneously active. Matlab, at any given time, 6 into 15, 90% of my capital can be allocated. But let's say, you say, "Nahi, 15%, it's too much, Gautam, why you want to put." I said, okay, fine. And then 90% also is too much. I don't want to take so much risk. I said, okay, you lower your risk. So you say that I don't want to invest more than 60%. मतलब मेरे पास 100 रुपये है, I will not invest more than 60 rupees. ठीक है, बढ़िया है. And then you say नहीं 15% थोड़ा ज़्यादा लग रहा है, I will not risk more than 6%. तो क्या हो गया? Then your max number of trades at any given time can be 10. So 10 into 6 is 60. So you can design your own portfolio. You can say, and these are the two parameters, how many maximum trades you want to manage and how much you want to risk per trade. That will define your overall capital allocation, right? So the portfolio manager will always honor your settings, right? So that means logically you can construct, n number of portfolios. Obviously in the free tier I've kept it limited because it is just way for you to experience, right? It is not the real app, right? But so there are a lot of limitations I put on the free tier, but in the elite tier there is no limitations, right? You can construct an unlimited number of portfolios that you want, and I'll show you how to do that, right? So so that is pretty much about the patterns, right? And I will show you when I go to the app also how it works. चलो ये सब statistics है वो app में दिखाएंगे. By the way, I've shared this PDF so you can go at it at your own pace. I don't want to bore you with numbers here. तो ये हम ऐप में ही देखेंगे. तो आई थिंक मोटा मोटी जो कहना था मेरा हो गया है. Maybe just one couple of numbers I would like to draw your attention to. So remember that 250% compounding that I talked about. Now, if you compound at that rate, you literally can go to from 1 lakh to 50 lakhs in 5 years. Imagine you're taking all of the trades that the app is recommending, right? Which is around roughly around 350 trades. I will show you in the app also. If you invest, I mean, if you traded all of the patterns, right, that the app recommended, and you made those 200, 300% returns a year, then you will reach this figure, right? So, and then, but let's say somebody who is on the free tier, who has only access to the 100 patterns, because they have limited things to choose from, right? Uska calendar ही fill नहीं होगा, because there is not enough patterns in the database, right? तो उसका क्या होगा, उसका एक नॉमिनल रिटर्न आएगा, मतलब 20% मान के चलो. And the gap, right, if you analyze over 5 years, is literally, more than 45 lakhs, 46 lakhs something, right? So that's where, the power of compounding comes in, right? Because the more wealth you are generating, the more you have to invest next year. And then, that compounds in the second year, right? And then you have more wealth going into the third year, like that, right? So, but the only thing is that you have to, you can't say that, in 1 year I may 100 rupiah karunga, next year I will do 50 and all that. If you do all that gimmicks, then obviously, the math will not work out, because this algorithm doesn't have, the intelligence that you have, right? So it will only follow the instructions that it has been told. And the instructions I told you very clearly, right? It has been told that you are not supposed to take more risk than it. You are not supposed to trade more than this many positions. You are not supposed to allocate more than this much in any given trade. That's it. That's the constraint. Now go and choose the best you can for that given period. Right now, imagine if I split the whole year into, let's say, 3-day periods, right? I can say, Acha, from Jan 1 to 3, what is the best trade I can do? So it will find a pattern for me, right? For Jan 1 to 3 or for Jan 1. So any day, I mean, let's say you don't want to do all the patterns, you want to try it for certain month. That is up to you. I mean, that the app doesn't trade for you, right? So it only tells you that, if you are trading with this much capital and this much risk parameters, then how you should trade. It will prepare a calendar for you. And I should probably move on to that, because we're running short of time. So these are all, we will cover in very great detail in the master class, right? Which will be of 3 days. And I will also have somebody joining me, right? Who is more qualified than me to teach you some of these concepts, right? I will teach you about the mathematics part. She'll take care of your the mindset part. Yeah. Chalo, ye sab you can check in the PDF itself. So why don't I move to the app now, because I think that makes the logical sense. Or I'll take your questions, one or two right now, and then the remaining you can ask once you have seen the demo. Is there any questions that you have going through your mind right now? You can ask while I try and navigate, to the app. Give me a moment. By the way, can all of you open the app, and if you have not sort of joined the community, right? So there is obviously, you must be part of the community, and that is why you're here. But in case you have not joined, there is a group that I created, right? And the link is, so I'll drop just let me do that right away. Uh, So all of you open this website, right? And there is a sort of a waitlist, join the waitlist feature, right? So that is a simple way of, for me to gather, validated email addresses, so that I can send important communication to you, and also sort of to invite you all to my community, so that any other announcements that I do, like for example, the mastermind that is happening, right? It is very difficult for me to reach out to each one of you individually, right? But if you are part of the community, you will get all of this communications, seamlessly, right? So you just follow the channel, and all the communications will be sent there, right? Obviously, we will send, once you become a member of the app, there are emails and notifications built in, but that's a different thing. Also, any kind of security related stuff and OTPs and all that communication is there, right? At an individual level. Secrets are,
Gautam,
yeah.
on the WhatsApp, is the app there, or which? Because there are so many of your SAP, then Satellite Mastermind. Which one to open it?
So if you go to the bottom of the page, right, which I put on the chat, there is a join our community WhatsApp community link right at the bottom.
In the chat.
I have given the website link in the chat. I'm saying if you
Okay.
scroll down the page, right,
Yeah, I got it.
you will see a community link there. Or what you can do is, and you can also fill up this form, which will also send you the link in the email, right? That also you can do just in terms of joining the wait list. So if you complete this, at least you will be in my radar. So whenever I have anything important or I find something new or I'm launching something new or could special pricing RI like Black Friday sale and whatnot, I'll do, I don't know, right? So that will be my one stop way to communicate, right? This is, think of it like a mass communication from me to all of you. Obviously, whenever I need to, or you need to communicate with me, or I need to communicate, those will happen on an individual basis, right? So, but this is for mass communication, the group, right? It is
What
almost
about people who have already signed up? For them also, we have to go through this.
not necessary, right? Because you guys are already part of my community,
Yeah.
right?
So where do I see the app then?
Where do you see the app? The app link I have shared, right? So
So
you
that's what
can,
I'm saying. I have to go. Even I have to go for this link. I have to go open this link.
no, you don't have to. Let me just show it to you on the app itself. Just give me a moment. So what all of you, if you want to experience obviously I have not rolled out the Elite Access, right? And I will show you how that will happen. So there is a login button here, right, at the top. Can you all see that? Or there is a menu option also. There is a, if you click on any of that, it will take you to the login page. So what you simply need to do is type in your email, which you will use to access. I hope all of you have an email address. So you just have to type the email and just say send code. So you will receive an OTP in your
Gautam, there is an error saying
कहाँ पे error आ रहा है?
database error saving new user.
अच्छा अच्छा, तो आप मुझे स्क्रीनशॉट भेज दो because I've just
Okay, okay.
kind of launched it. I will check and get back. So let's say I've received the OTP. I'm just trying to log in. Let me see if it works.
It is not accepting new users, perhaps.
I will check what is the issue. Just if you have my WhatsApp number, you please send me a screenshot. I'll just type in my number also in the chat box so that you can just send me the screenshot on WhatsApp. Just give me a moment. तो यहाँ पे आप लोग
वो रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट कीजिए सर, प्लीज एक्सेप्ट द रिक्वेस्ट इन द व्हाट्सएप सर.
No, I will do that. See, I'm in this mode right now, right? So give me some time. Once the session is over, I will accept, all of your requests. Not to worry. Okay. So let me just show you what I wanted to show. So see, now I have logged into the Elite tier, right? So you can see that if you are on the Elite, it'll show an Elite badge, right? And you can see that I have access to 16,591 patterns, right? Of course, those of you obviously you will not be able to see this because all of you are on the free tier, right? So you will see 100 patterns and all that. I have just selected the top 10 Indian companies like Reliance, TCS, by their market cap, and I have limited only to the top 10 companies because I wanted to give you all an essence, right, of what this is about. But the real power, if you really want the full power, you will have to be on the Elite tier as of now because I've not launched the intermediate tier. That I will do it once I cross certain number of members, right? So now let me sort of familiarize you. So this is basically what you are seeing on your screen. Each one of this is a pattern, right? So like I said, a pattern is consist of one stock for one time frame. So there is an entry date and an exit date, right? And you can see the star rating. So this is a bullish, right? So this is a bullish pattern of Indowind from April 1 to 10, right? Now, if you click on view details, you will get the entire historical. So everything is transparent to you, nothing is hidden. For each of the pattern, you can see, how it has performed in every year, right? And you can also, if you want to go and validate these numbers, download the data, right? And compute this yourself. So you can do that. And if there is any errors, please let me know. But I have done a lot of qualitative checking. I haven't found any errors, right? But if you guys do, please let me know. Okay. So what it means is, see, it has analyzed and look at this. Every year, in the last 10 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, some years it did not give massive returns, but there is no red year, meaning not a single year out of the 10, it has given negative returns, which means it is a 100% pattern. See, you can see the win rate is 100%. दिख रहा है? इसका एवरेज रिटर्न है 11.5%. इसका एवरेज रिटर्न है. स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज 10%. स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन 10% मीन्स मतलब it can move, मतलब see, there are certain years it has given 32% also. And this is the average return. ये जो yellow line है, this is average. मतलब 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 times out of that 10 years, it has given at least the mean return or even more than the mean. And 3 out of, or 3 and 4 times it has not given. So every pattern is like that. There is a law of average, like how batsmen, bowlers have average. ये patterns का भी एक average होता है, right? So obviously it is not going to give this 20-30%. All the patterns are not going to perform all the years. That's the whole thing, right? But for a team to win, कोई ना कोई तो परफॉर्म करेगा ना. विराट नहीं करेगा तो रोहित करेगा, रोहित नहीं करेगा तो गिल खेलेगा, गिल नहीं करेगा तो जडेजा खेलेगा, राइट? तो इट इज लाइक दैट, राइट? सो सम years, in some matches Rohit will perform, in some matches Gill will perform, right? But overall, if you look at the combined performance of the entire portfolio, right, it is massive. I mean, even I can't trust this number sometimes, right? The reason I delayed the launch by almost a few days. In fact, I said that I will launch on 20th. Obviously, I was traveling and all, so that added to some delay. But the reason I did not launch early is because I was in very, very deep quality. I mean, in a state where I'm questioning each and everything. Even after that, I could not find any defects, right? But if any of you can find a defect and point it to me, I'll be more than happy to rectify that. But as of now, I can say with at least 95% confidence that these numbers are all validated. Yeah. So this is the kind of patterns that you can work with, right? This is like your Virat Kohli's, right? I mean, now how easy it is to filter. You just click on this button and it will give you all the 5-star. Now, in total, we had 16,591, right? Kitna 5-star pattern? Only 1678 patterns. Literally, 10%, right? If I look at the 4 stars, around another 10%, right? 3 stars will be another 10%. So this is your top 30% patterns between 4, 5, 4, and 3. And this is your top 40. So typically, if you want to construct a portfolio with 5 and 4 stars, you will pick this as a filter. You say, oh, मुझे only 5 star चाहिए, मुझे bearish नहीं चाहिए, मुझे सिर्फ bullish चाहिए, आप ये select करोगे, right? So, इतना bullish 5-star patterns है, 16, 17, still a lot, right? So this is a way for you to pre-select what you want. Or you say, मुझे सिर्फ stock का चलिए. I mean, that is actually meaningless to do it because it defeats the whole purpose of selection, right? If you want to do it for 10, 20 stocks, that is, you can, but ideally not recommended. I mean, if you are a one stock trader, then maybe you can type some name like say, you want only Reliance का patterns. तो आप ऐसे type करोगे तो सिर्फ Reliance का आ जाएगा इधर, right? आपको सिर्फ TCS का चाहिए तो TCS का आ जाएगा, right? But obviously you can see the average return of TCS is 2%, right? Reliance is कितना है? Reliance is around 2%. But if you look at the average returns of my best performers, it is way higher. On an average, all of these have given more than 5%. Matlab, some years it has given 30% also. Some years it has given 20% also. And that is the reason that, we are able to make this massive wealth. Because you are selecting the best patterns that has worked only for that stock, only for that period. Now, I don't know how much you understand. This all goes back to the concept of time cycle. Now, just
return is in 3 days only, 3-4 days.
You can see
Or
the
yearly
period, right?
return.
April 1 to April 10. ये 10 दिन का पैटर्न है. मतलब ये 10 दिन में.
So
and
return
you can
is
see
in this.
you can see the breakdown also, right? 2015 में कितना दिया है. So average of that is 11%. This yellow line is your average. समझ में आ रहा है?
For each trade, for 10 days, maybe 10 days. Na?
This stock in the wind in this period, April 1 to 10, has given 11% returns. ऐसे समझना है इसको.
Okay,
On an
right.
average. On an average.
Okay,
And
sir.
if you want to
Yes.
see, मतलब हर साल में क्या किया है, this is your data for you. That's it. If you look at these two numbers, that is enough. So win rate, average, historical performance क्या है. These are the three most important things about a pattern. That's it. Rest of the things are numbers. I mean, you can look at it. See, what does Sharpe ratio mean? How much return did I generate for every unit of risk? That is how Sharpe means. A higher Sharpe means you have generated more returns per unit of risk. मतलब उसका volatility कम है. अगर किसी का sharp is nothing but your return divided your mean return divided by your standard deviation. Standard deviation is basically measures कितना fluctuate इधर उधर हुआ है. So if it has like Bitcoin बहुत इधर उधर होता है, right? I mean because it sometimes it will move up, sometimes it will move down. तो उसका standard deviation बहुत high है. अगर किसी का स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन हाई है उसका शार्प लो हो जाता है क्योंकि यू आर पुटिंग इट इन द डिनोमिनेटर. दोज हु नो मैथमेटिक्स, राइट? सो इफ यू डिवाइड समथिंग बाय अ लार्जर नंबर वो छोटा हो जाता है, राइट? द ओवरऑल नंबर. So that is what sharp means. But if the number is small in the denominator, overall number becomes larger. मतलब if your return is higher and your risk, which is measured by standard deviation, is lower, your overall return given the risk becomes much higher. And that is the way I have chosen these patterns. I have chosen patterns जिसका risk कम है, return ज़्यादा है, and within that also I have stack ranked them. I have literally picked the top 10% for each period because I have so many things. No, I have an abundance of patterns to choose. And this is Nifty probably has more than 3,000 stocks. Now if you go to BSE, शायद हमारे exchange में शायद 5,000 से भी ज़्यादा होगा, right? I have not even gone there. Only with 500, actually 500 भी नहीं है. To be honest, it is around 418 stocks. Because बाकी सब निकल गया with my filters. Quality filters में बाकी सब निकल गया. किसी का डेटा नहीं है, किसी का ये broken है, किसी का outlier ज़्यादा है. तो मैंने analyze करके देखा कि wherever there is possibility of not using that data, I did not use that data, right? Because I have so many things anyways. उसके बावजूद I have 16,000 patterns, right? But out of that, if I only want to play with the 5 stars, you can. But I will show you that it is not necessary that your 5-star patterns will make the best portfolio. Now let's reset all the filters, right? Let's say, I want to go with all the patterns, and then your next step, once you have finished the exploration, is to build the portfolio, right? So simply you have to click here. आप किसी नाम दे दो, मैं बोलता हूँ all. Now this is where that thing that I was talking about, that how much exposure you want can be controlled through very simple parameters. I've given you some presets, right? I've said, okay, if you are an aggressive type like I am, I will deploy all my capital because see, I don't have any fear of losing that money. अगर 1 लाख जाता भी है क्या जाता है, जाने दो, right? So if I am that type of investor, because I don't need that money. See, anything, let me tell you one thing, anything that you need in the next 5 years, please never put that in equity. Sincere request. Anything, any financial goals for which you need money in the next 5 years, please don't put that money in equity, right? Because equity is inherently risky. Kal market 50% correction हो सकता है, right? All the pundits are saying that 2026 में correction होगा, but I'll show you 2020 gave us the best. It was the best year in our data. In this entire 10 years, 2020 जहाँ पे COVID correction हुआ था, even March gave decent returns. I'll show that to you. So this is for the aggressive investor, right? If you don't want to take aggressive, you do a conservative one. जहाँ पे 60% deployed होगा, only 15 positions, एक में 4% मैक्सिमम जाएगा कैपिटल आपका. मतलब अगर 100 रुपया है, you will not put more than 4% in one stock. Clear है? So this is how you control your level of risk. Let's say I'm going with the highest risk, and see, there is an advanced setting also. If you want to put your custom numbers, that you can. I've just purposefully hidden it to just make it simple. 3 preset दे दिया हूँ जो दोनों को सेट कर देगा आपके लिए, right? Default is this, but you can always switch. I would say moderate is good. It's somewhere in between. But let me show you. So let's take the conservative one, right? I am not even going aggressive. I'm conservative. तो उसमें देखते हैं कितना रिटर्न बनता है. Okay. Then you have to just simply, it will show you what all filters you have seen. I have not chosen any active filters, right? And that's it. So it will say build portfolio. So this will take some time. You बहुत सारे compute कर रहा है, back test कर रहा है. All the 10 years of back testing is happening and all that, right? तो थोड़ा time दीजिए, तो आपको तुरंत result बना के देगा. It takes some time, 10-20 seconds leta hai, because it is actually performing this whole 10 years of practice. Now, even with a conservative portfolio, I was able to generate an average annual return. This is the average. Huh? So I have done a back testing literally. And by the way, in Elite, you have 10 years of back test capability, right? But in the free tier, I've given only 1 year because obviously, I can't give everything for free. And in the pro tier, I think I have 3 years backtest capability, right? That means in elite tier, there is no restriction, right? You are getting the full power of the app, right? In terms of building your portfolio. So for the, this conservative mode, I have generated 170%. Now let me show you what happens if I go in aggressive mode. So I'll go back to the portfolio builder. I will say all and chalo, all it hai. And the default is aggressive. And then again, I will say build portfolio. थोड़ा टाइम लेता है 10-15 सेकंड्स कभी कभी 20-30 सेकंड्स भी ले लेता है because it is actually performing the backtest. Now look at this massive return, right? This is where the power of micro compounding, because see what is happening is, let's say on Jan 1 you start with 100 rupiah, right? Now Jan 1 to 10 you traded something, that 100 rupees let's say became 120 rupees. Now the next allocation is not happening on 100 rupees. This algorithm assumes that there is no withdrawal happening. तो जो भी profits है, and by the way, I take out all the taxes. Huh? It is not like, I'm not doing any of the basic accounting things. So if you look at my gross P&L was around 6.5 lakhs for the year on an average. उसमें से मैं transaction cost निकाल रहा हूँ, right? In terms of your brokerage, STD, STD, जो भी है, slippage costs सारे निकाल रहा हूँ. Then I am putting flat 20% tax on the profit per trade. मान लो अगर 20 रुपया जनरेट किया है, आउट ऑफ दैट ऑलमोस्ट वो जो 30%, मतलब सी योर नेट रिटर्न्स इज अराउंड 70% ऑफ योर ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट. मतलब आपने यहाँ पर 100 रुपया कमाए हैं, द एल्गोरिथम ओनली टेक 70 रुपीज एज समथिंग दैट इट विल चेंज द एनएवी. मतलब अगर 100 रुपया से शुरू किया एंड देन यू अर्न 20, वहां से सिर्फ 70% ही लेगा एंड दैट विल चेंज द एनएवी. And then जो नया trades बन रहा है, right, after Jan 10th, it is on the new NAV, not on the old NAV, right? So that is the thing, that is what is resulting in multiple compounding through the year, right? And since I have chosen patterns, with very good statistical history, it means that in most years, they win. The average win rate you can see of the portfolio is around 75%. मतलब अगर 100 trade किया है in the portfolio, 75 of them have been winners. Only 25 are losers. And that too, when the winners are much larger than the losers. And that is the basic theory of, any trading, right? It is, see, the only thing that you can do as a trader is control your risk. So this whole setup is automatically risk managed for you because it has found and identified the best patterns that you can trade for that period. That's it. It has looked at all of the 418 stocks, all of the possible patterns with all the 418 stocks, and it has only given you, or it has only chosen one stock for that period. Now, how will you know which stock it has chosen, right? So let me show you some of the data. Now see, this gives you year by year statistics. मतलब this is how patterns are formed, right? So this is how 2000. So this ये जो blue line है, the blue line, and the ये जो magenta line है, that is the average line. It is the average of all the years. But if you hover your cursor here, it will tell you 2015 में कैसे किया है. So it is almost close to the average, right? In the first year. Second year, it underperformed. It did not even perform as per the average. Below था. 2017 में भी below था. Can you see this is pre-COVID period? Performance is under par. 2018 was the worst year. Probably 2019 was the worst year. So all of the 5 years pre-COVID, the average is much lower, right? But let's say what happened in 2020. Best year. Obviously, we all know what happened in 2020, right? It just dipped, and then there was a massive rally. I think a lot of new entrants came because a lot of businesses got shut down, and they felt that the stock market was the only area through which they can earn some money. And a lot of new people came into the market at that time, the baby boomers, right, of the Indian stock market. It is actually one of the best years in recent times, right? And our graph also shows that it is one of the best years. It has given 1000% return in this year. 1000%. मतलब एक साल में आपका पैसा 10 गुना किया है as per the patterns it has selected. I'll go into each year this thing. 2021 was close to the average, little more than that. Even 2021 was a very bullish year. Then 2022 में correction हुआ है, right? But our portfolio was almost flat. मतलब it has given a very good return. It has not lost money. 2023 was almost close to the average. 2024 has given way. 2024, despite the correction, see, this was a corrective period no, towards the end of 2024, but look at the portfolio growth. It has actually given more money for you. And 2025 is nothing but a projected return. It is not, because 2025, I have not used the data because I have a complete data set till 2024. So all of this training has been done with data from 2015 to 2024, which is comprising a rolling 10 years. Now, what will happen is come Jan 1st, 2026, it will automatically shift from 2016 to 2025 because 2025 का पूरा data आ जाएगा. I will download and I will automatically, the app will automatically refresh all these years for you. आपको कुछ करने का ज़रूरत नहीं है. वो ऐप ऑटोमेटिकली समझा के कि अच्छा ईयर चेंज हो गया है, वो पूरा डाउनलोड करके पूरा एनालाइज करके आपको फ्रेश कैलेंडर बना के देगा. See, every year a new calendar will be built. It is not like the calendar is static. And I will show you what is the common things. See, every year it keeps around this much, 100, 130 odd it keeps. But when 2015 changed to 2016, it kept 135. It added 224 new patterns for a total of 359 for that year. So on an average, you can see, it is keeping around this much and it is adding. The reason is, see, there are holidays and weekends and all that, right? But as a portfolio manager, my goal is to give you the best patterns that you can trade within your trading calendar, not physical calendar, right? So that is one more constraint that a portfolio manager has. Because हो सकता है कि 2015 में Jan 1 to 10 or Jan 1 to 3 did not have a weekend. But हो सकता है in 2026 उसमें weekend आ जाएगा तो फिर then that pattern will not be the best. So it will pick something that is best in that period. समझ आ रहा है? So every year is little different, right? Which is why this is a very dynamic thing. Now your ultimate destination is the calendar, right? Now if you go to the calendar, by default it will show you what you should do in this current year, which is right now it is showing 2025 calendar. But if you want to see how it performed in 2024, let me show you how it performed in 2020, right? The COVID year. So this is basically a trade by trade journey, right? For you to see how your capital started with 1 lakh. आपको दिख रहा है इधर 1 lakh capital आपने शुरू किया Jan 1 को, right? In the first month you made around 17%, right? And these are your day by day breakdown, right? Now if you click on the day, this drop down, it will actually show you what are the entries. ये entries column में आपको दिखाएगा. Entries मतलब आपको किस में invest करना है on that day. That is what it is showing you, all the statistics, all the numbers for you and all that, right? In the wind, this one, Orient Cement, whatever, right? So this is your entries for the day, right? So total positions आपका हो गया 6 entries, 6 are active, right? And this orange one is showing you exit. Okay. So on 5th, यहाँ पे 5 exit आपको करना है, right? And then see, the exit is happening when? On a Friday. तो सेटलमेंट कब होगा? ऑन मंडे. सो दैट मीन्स एग्जिट मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि जो कैपिटल रिलीज हुआ है आई डू ए T+1 सेटलमेंट एज पर द इंडियन कैलेंडर, राइट? तो जो कैश आज आपने एग्जिट किया है दैट इज नॉट अवेलेबल टू ट्रेड ऑन द सेम डे, बट इट इज अवेलेबल टू ट्रेड द नेक्स्ट डे. तो सुबह अकाउंटिंग होता है, नैव चेंज होता है, एंड देन इट विल टेक दिस 5 ट्रेड्स ऑन द न्यू NAV. मतलब whatever capital it has gained, right, this 2400, ये जो नया नैब बना है, तो 1 लाख से शुरू किया आपने, जब 5 ट्रेड एग्जिट किया आपको 2000 का प्रॉफिट हुआ, आपका नया कैपिटल बना 1,02,000, राइट? तो ये जो 5 आप ट्रेड लेंगे और सो दैट विल बी बेस्ड ऑन दिस 1,02,000, not on 1 lakh. And that is how compounding happens, right? Because you're not withdrawing money. This algorithm doesn't let you withdraw money, which means you have to let the capital work in the market as per your risk appetite that you have set. You have said 60%, algorithm will respect your thing. It will never put more than 60% of whatever that NAV is, right? That is like a Lakshman Rekha. It will never go beyond that Lakshman Rekha. But within that Lakshman Rekha, it has the full freedom to pick as many stocks. Basically, I have said that I don't want more than 6. So if you look at this number, it is never picking more than 6 entries for me, because that is my guidance. If you say, if you lower the risk per position, then position size thoda increase karna padega, or you'll have to reduce the capital allocation itself. Taki, let's say you don't want to invest more than 30% of your capital. I mean, for some weird reason, I don't know why you will do that. I would say the minimum 60% is good enough. And then you say, acha, you don't want to risk more than 5%. So a bada position lojo. So instead of 6, it will take 12 trades for you. I'll show that in a second, right? So that is what it is. So day by day, it is giving you kab entry karna hai. All these green dots means entry. These yellow or orange dots means exit. And this ये जो purple color का है ये settle हो रहा है. मतलब see, wherever there is an orange, the next day you will see a complementary settlement. मतलब यहाँ पे cash settled हो रहा है, profit and loss accounting हो रहा है आपका. Not on exit but on settlement, because cash will come back, तभी आप profit and loss को देखेंगे ना. So we don't look at profit and loss on the same day of exit, we look at it on the next trading day. Now all that thing is automated for you, because the exit happened on a Friday, it is doing the settlement on Monday. It is smart in that sense, right? So all that constraint has been already programmed, and it will tell you exactly when to do. You don't have to apply ki acha ye weekend hai. All that has been factored by the algorithm itself. It will never recommend you to trade on a trading holiday. कभी भी नहीं बोलेगा आपको करने के लिए.
Gautam, one question now. See, you said we started with 1 lakh and then we made profit of 2000 something.
हाँ,
So we
यहाँ पे देखो.
after T1 plus, right?
Yeah, see settlement यहाँ पे हुआ ना. देखो यहाँ पे हमने exit किया.
I agree. What I'm asking you, I don't want to use that profit. Can't I take that 1 lakh and start again?
See, you can, but you have to understand that you cannot compare the results.
The compounding part. That I understand.
Your results will not be the same as this, because you are, it's compounding कब होता है. What is the difference between a simple interest? See,
I
that is the
agree with you on
difference
that.
between, that is the
I
difference
agree with you on that part. But what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm asking you is this. It's a hypothetical question. Okay. Suppose at that particular day there is a good chance of making a lot of money, and I'm waiting for the settlement to happen, and then it doesn't happen. I mean, it's going to take one more day. So is it worth it, or leave it to follow the same system what is there?
See, I have not put my own mind into this. Let me tell you that way, right? The only thing I have told this system is, boss, I have given you an army of patterns, right? Too many than you need, right? I mean, 16,000 is kafi hai, yaar. I mean, and I'm talking about 400, the top 400 stocks of the country is there, right? Minus, all the new stocks, I don't think, the Geo and all that. I mean, the jo naya wala list hua hai, 1-2 saal mein, all those are not there, right? So you have all the quality stocks that is running India right now. Right? So if that business is churning out 25% profit every year, then you are also expected to make that much profit every year, no, from that stock. But it's not like you have to go and invest in that stock and hold it for the whole year to make that profit, right? I have picked out what is the best time to enter and exit that stock, and that's it. It's an entry, exit, that's it. You don't have to hold on. You are not married to any stock in a sense, right? See, this is called emotionless trading in a way, right? I mean, if you try to apply your own emotion, then you are applying your own emotion, period, right? Your results will not match the system results. So either you have to trust the system or you have to trust yourself. But either ways, it's very hard to go wrong with these patterns, right? See, the other thing is you can't say that, oh, I will selectively trade the patterns. Then the law of averages will not work for you, right? Because ho sakta hai ki you are very good selector and all of the things that you select will perform. But it may be that you are so bad. कभी कभी होता है ना किसी को होता Gill lost like 10 coin tosses in the last two, right? All the tosses he was losing. So you will go through a bad patch. It is possible that all the patterns you pick underperform, and then you will think that ये तो system काम ही नहीं करता है. You will blame the system, no, at that time. See, if you have to trust the system, you trust the system. If you don't trust the system, don't trust the system. If you apply your own mind, and then that is your system, then don't blame this system. You're getting it, right?
Right.
So see, the reason I built is because it is very difficult to apply my mind, because I wish, I was a Jyotish and I could pick, and whatever I would pick would turn into gold. But hota nahi hai na. How often does it happen that every trade gives you profit? Hardly, right? I mean, maximum, if you're really honest, I would say 4 and 5 out of your every trades gives you profits. Rest to loss hi hota hai. But the real skill, and that I've already taught, some of you, the real skill is not about, whether you are winning 100%. It's about how much you lose when you lose versus how much you win when you win, right? That is the other math part of the mathematics. Now, your portfolio manager is automatically diversifying it into the best patterns, so that even if, like I told you, right, the winning rate is literally around 75%. That means what? Even this, with all the best things in the world, you are still going to lose 25-30 trades. Maybe in a year, sometimes it may be 50 trades you will lose, right? Maybe, see, to be honest, in from 2015 to till now, market has not seen a real bearish year, which means there is a little bit of bullish bias in the data itself, that you will realize, when you look at the number of patterns, you will see, a lot of the patterns are bullish only. Very hardly, a few bearish patterns. But then bearish patterns make problem bhi hai, because you cannot trade with the same amount of capital. आपका अगर short करना है in a stock, you'll have to go to FNO. And FNO requires more capital. तो आपको capital requirement change हो जाएगा, right? So if you want to eliminate the short side completely, you can do that. You can say that मैं सिर्फ long only खेलूंगा. That is what pure equity is, right? I mean, mutual funds में क्या होता है? But their strategy is different. Mutual fund में क्या होता है? Fund manager buy करता है and they will hold it for 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 9 months. I don't know what they do, right? But here it is, a very active. आपको एक्टिव रहना पड़ेगा, मतलब you have to follow the calendar. अगर कैलेंडर बोल रहे हैं आपको एंट्री करना है, तो आपको एंट्री करना है. आपको 3 बजे आना है कंसोल में, आपको जल्दी से देखना है, एंड बिटवीन 3:15 to 3:25 यू आर सपोज टू एग्जीक्यूट, बिकॉज that will be very close to the end of day pricing. That is what it is built on. It has taken the end of the day price for analysis, which means if you have to capture the end of the day price, आपको trade execute करना पड़ेगा जब everybody has left for the day, which is at after 3:15, because all the intraday people have left, right, after 3:15. And all is left is, people like us, right, who wants to just do entries and exits. And this is, you have to do it without emotion. Let me tell you this, right? If you try to do too much of emotional analysis, ये करूँगा करूँ, then, वो analysis paralysis हो जाएगा. Then it will not be a system anymore. That will be your system. See, the reason I'm showing you all this data is to build that belief and conviction that it works. If it has worked for 10 years, it is likely to work next year. No, I'm not saying 100% that it will work. I'm saying that there is a very high chance. I'm very confident that it will work. But if it doesn't work, does it mean the system doesn't work? No, maybe, see, even if it beats your mutual fund, let's say, Nifty has returned minus 50% in a year, but if your portfolio makes, zero returns, is that a good thing or bad thing? If Nifty has returned minus 50% in a year, let's say 2008 type of year ho gaya crash, but you did not lose money. That means, you have done much better, no, than the rest of the world. Because अगर म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा रहता, तो वो तो 50% डाउन हो जाता. मेरा भी हुआ था 2008 में. And the cardinal sin we do when such thing happens, we withdraw the money at the bottom of the crash. When you should actually be, see, if you would have not done anything after the COVID crash, still you would have, made a lot of money. What will people do? Normal instinct is, जब crash होगा, तब bottom में जाके sell करेगा. They will never sell at the top. No retailer sell at the top. Only institutions do sell at the top. Now, what this system is sort of guiding you is, boss, अपना दिमाग को, keep aside. You may be the greatest investor, trader. See, if you believe in yourself, by all means, then you don't need my system, right? So you should trust your instinct and your system, and you should follow it. But if you have tried doing it, and if it has not worked for you, then you have to, look for something else, right? And this is that something else. And this is based on my collective feedback and conversation that I've had with most of you, that all of you want to make money on autopilot. Now, this is probably semi-autopilot. I can say it is not total autopilot. There are some challenges in making it autopilot, right? As of now, it is better to leave that control to you, because at the end of the day, it's your money, right? This is just, statistics and analytics, nothing else, right? So you need to be aware of what you want to risk, how much you want to risk, and you can act accordingly. It is giving you a systematic way to enter and exit trades at a defined time cycle. That's it. Right? Whenever you see a green entry, you know that you have to enter something. Whenever you see a yellow entry, you know that you have to exit something. That's it. And अगर exit होगा तो next day आपका cash आ जाएगा आपके account में. And then you can check. See, the beauty is that यहाँ पे 5 exit हुआ, cash आ गया, and then it took 5 fresh entries. So it never keeps your capital idle. Please understand this point. It is immediately going and picking. अच्छा चलो 5 निकल गया. What should I enter next so that my quota goes back up to 6? Can you see that? Every day throughout the year, my position is 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. I am never out of trades because I have so many patterns to trade. That is the beauty of it. मुझे तो सिर्फ 6 चुनना है ना उनमें से, which is a very easy job. No, I have my 5-star pattern, so I say that okay, go and put your money in the 5-star patterns first. अगर 5-star हो गया तो फिर 4-star में जाओ. अगर 4-star भी खत्म हो गया तो फिर 3-star में जाओ. It is, I don't exclude anything. All of the patterns I take. But algorithm will try to make sure that Virat Kohli faces the most number of balls. तो उसको पहले पैसा देगा. अगर पैसा बचता है, then it will go to the next, then it will go to the next, then it will go to the next. And then if it has filled 6, then it will stop trading. It will not give you any more thing because you have said, I don't want to risk, I don't want to go more than 6 positions, right? So that is how it is. So in fact, यहाँ पे आपको allocation भी बता देगा. देखो, every position has 15% allocation, right? 15% allocation like that. तो यहाँ पे आपका जब सेटलमेंट होता है आपको एक्चुअल रिटर्न भी बताते हैं व्हाट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड, राइट? एंड द रेट मींस इट हैज अंडर परफॉर्म्ड. मतलब एक्सपेक्टेशन वाज 11%, इसने सिर्फ 3% दिया है. ये रेट मतलब ये है, राइट? तो अगर ओवर परफॉर्म किया है मतलब यहाँ पे एक्सपेक्टेशन था 6%, इट हैज स्लाइटली गिवन मोर रिटर्न. सो दैट इज व्हाई यू सी इट हैज बीट द एक्सपेक्टेशंस, राइट? तो इतना सारा एनालिसिस करके आपको दे रहा है. ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज build trust and conviction, and that is why I'm bringing in my partner to talk about mindset, because it's all about shifting the frequency, right? If you cannot believe that this works, then this is useless for you, right? And the reason I did such a hard work is to give you all the data and make it. I don't think there is any fund manager in the world that will give you so much of data that I have given through this app. Yeah, आपको तो म्यूचुअल फंड में तो कौन सा स्टॉक कहाँ इन्वेस्ट हो रहा है क्या वो भी दिखता नहीं है. वो भी जो दिखता है 3 months old डेटा है, whatever any of these apps show. ठीक है? That means you have zero transparency into what your fund manager, plus they are charging fees, ये वो सब कुछ हो रहा है, and they have no accountability. मतलब market कल crash होगा, they are not accountable, right? So at least here you can see how this pattern has performed, and then only you're building trust in the system, right? So this is a system. I'm not saying the system is perfect, right? But this is a system. So either you trust it or you don't trust it. There is no in between state, right? Obviously, I am going to do for all of the elite members, right? I mean, Arsenio. So every week I'm going to have a weekly mastermind with all of you, right? So because I consider you more like, the founding members, because you trusted me before even the app was launched, right? And that means a lot to me personally, right? So obviously I'll make sure that any challenges you face, right? Especially in the first 90 days, I'll sort that out, right? And your challenges will give me a clue as to how I have to improve the app. Because अभी जो मैं किया है मैंने मेरा दिमाग लगाया है, right? I don't know practically what challenges you are going to face. That you are going to come and discuss with me, right? Every week I'm going to hold a session. And if you have any ideas, suggestions कि अच्छा ये होता तो कैसा होता, वो होता तो कैसा होता, all that, it is a free flowing, it is a brainstorming session, not just a Q&A session. So please come back with ideas, come back with suggestions on what will make your life better. And maybe your suggestions can make everybody else's life better also in the community, right? So that's how we all grow as a community, and that is why you should belong to this community, right? Because we are wealth compounders, right? My goal is to make ordinary people rich, and it's a massive task, of course, right? So but then hoga, I mean, it will take time. I'm not promising that you are going to get rich next year, right? It is a process. If you keep doing this year on year on year, and then the magic will happen. Maybe it will take 5-6 years for you to get to the inflection point, and then that curve kicks in, right? Maybe from the 7th or 8th year is when that exponential growth creeps in. But Arsenio, to your point, if you keep withdrawing money, then that you will never experience that J curve.
No, you never understood. I'm not withdrawing the money. I'm not waiting for the T1 to happen. What I'm saying, I get a chance to invest. That one like I was saying, no, you wait for the 2,400 whatever profit we made. Add to that, then invest that, right? That's what it says, right?
अच्छा, you are saying early exit कर सकते कि नहीं?
No, no, I'm not exiting early. What I'm saying is, we will get a profit to T1 plus, right? The money will be added after T1 plus, right? Correct?
T1 only. I mean T plus
Yeah,
one.
T1.
T
Yeah,
plus
T1.
T1. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying, why wait for the T1 to happen? If I'm getting a chance next day, I can use that 1 lakh only, no? I'm keeping that. I'm not withdrawing the 2,000 whatever I made. I'm keeping it aside. I
So
can take it.
see,
That's what I'm. That's what I was asking.
even then I'm generating so much returns. No, so how much more do you need? That is the point, right?
So
Because whether you start on this day or that day, it's just a hardly 1 day ka difference, right? Because you may find better patterns on Monday than you find. Anyways, weekend will be skipped, right? Because you can't trade on Jan 4th and 5th, so you will never
correct.
recommend anything on this. Your capital will
Correct.
remain constant. No
Correct.
profit and loss accounting will happen on a weekend or even on a national holiday. It has built-in NSE calendar for the last 10 years,
No,
right?
no issue.
Huh.
So what I'm saying is that now we can't forget. But say we are done on Thursday and your this thing is going to be added on Friday, means it will come on Monday. So if I'm getting
So
a chance on Friday, not why not?
एग्जिट फ्राइडे को हो रहा है आप नया एंट्रीज यू आर जस्ट डिलेइंग द एंट्रीज टू नेक्स्ट डे बिकॉज द कैश सेटल होने में आपको मतलब द मोमेंट द कैश विल हिट योर बैंक अकाउंट इज ऑन मंडे नॉट ऑन फ्राइडे
Correct.
अगर कैश नहीं है तो इफ दिस 2000 डजंट हिट माय अकाउंट हाउ कैन आई इन्वेस्ट दैट 2000 रुपीज अब समझ रहे हो मेरे बात आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड
I understood what you said. I understood very much.
You can
But
you can invest 1 lakh. Yes, you're true. But see, it is just a matter of a day. And then see, the thing is, my pattern database is so rich that effectively any starting day, any ending day, I have a pattern. Are you
correct.
following me or not? Right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No,
Huh.
that is what I'm trying to tell you. See, any day you will have a better pattern or may not have a better pattern.
No, I
You
will
don't know
have a
that.
pattern. See, that is how my calendar is not empty. No, are
So
you?
that we don't know. No, we'll only come to know at 3:15 or 3 just before 3:30.
No, see, you can open this calendar at any time. No, I can also build in alerts and all
You
that.
will know. See,
I
the
can send you
investment part
alerts.
will.
I can send you alerts like, okay, these are your 6 entries, and I can send you an email ki acha, you have to enter this exit. That feature is not built in, but I will add that. Kitna time lagega? I can build in that feature, right?
No
So
problem.
every day you can say that acha, आपको क्या करना है? You have to enter this, you have to exit this. That's it. There is no दिमाग लगाने के कुछ है ही नहीं है इसमें. You don't. I'm not even saying that you have to do a technical analysis, right? Because this is not trading in that sense. You are trading time. A
Sir, just I
pattern.
understood that. See, on the Friday itself, when it was been sold, the money was released. What I mean, just understood. So why not on the same day by as per the
No,
pattern?
money is not released. Money doesn't come to your account. You have sold, but money
No,
is
no,
locked.
the broker, when we sold, they will allow automatically to buy something now, sir.
No, I see. This is my defensive mechanism, right? Right. So I'm not greedy to go and invest in the same day.
Okay.
एक
So
ही दिन का gap है.
what I understood, what the person has been asking, no, sir. What I could understand the same thing. That what.
See, I can give you a mode here saying that T plus zero mode. So if I switch to it,
See, you give the option, the people will be using as per their wish. That's it.
see, even using T plus one, I'm generating 400%. Maybe T plus zero, it will become 500%. But if you don't believe 400%, will you believe 500%? That is my question for you,
Yeah, understood.
right?
Gautam, sorry to interrupt you. See, you are saying brainstorming. No, you will get such questions from me. Better be ready for it.
That is okay. See, it is very simple for me. See, it's logic, no.
Yeah, it's logic. It's logic.
I can give you
Basically, it's logic.
Sir,
I
as
can
per
give
the market system, your logic is 100% true. That's no deviation at all. But what as you know, sir was been telling that, see, as in Friday when he has been sold, that obviously the broker will allow to buy the same value of
no, I
No,
can
no,
give that. I can give
no,
that
no.
feature. It's a toggle. So I will say
If
you
the,
when you're
if
building
the
the
broker allows,
portfolio.
not allowed. What I'm saying, I can use that 1 lakh what I have now. My 1 lakh is there now. That that I can use now.
See, I
But
don't
problem,
know. First of all, I don't know whether all brokers allow and all that. So I built a defensive mechanism. Let me put it that way.
And
right?
one more thing, sir, as when this T plus one has come, some brokers have been issuing payouts on the same day itself by night 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock itself.
Yeah, so that means you can't see, you are first of all supposed to execute this at 3:15 p.m. every
Yeah.
day, right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
if you exit at 3:15, your money is not going to hit the account at 3:15. No.
No, sir. When you have been sold means the same value will be allowed to buy another delivery stock also.
I don't know. See, I don't know whether all brokers allow that. So I
Yeah,
kind of
most
built
most of the
in.
brokers allow, sir. Most
So
of the brokers allow.
possibly,
Anyway,
so see, the solution is very simple. I have to allow a T plus zero mode. Matlab, whatever
Yes,
cash
yes, yes. T
is.
plus
So
zero.
basically, instead of settling on T plus one,
विश्वास सर जी, अब कोई दूसरा क्वेश्चन ले सकते हैं, इसी टॉपिक पे चलते रहेंगे?
सर ये तो सभी लोगों
clarifying
का
doubts,
सर,
that's
खाली
okay.
हमारे लिए नहीं सर, ये
Any-
सभी लोगों का सर, हर एक के लिए
हाँ,
ये बातचीत
हाँ,
हो रही
काफी
है।
लंबा डिस्कशन हो गया T1
नहीं,
और
लंबा
T2 के
डिस्कशन
ऊपर।
में ये वो
It's
बहुत सारा
okay.
बात है सर, इसमें बहुत सारा बात है इसमें। 3 दिनों के लिए 1 लाख का मतलब का पर जो परसेंटेज जो है ना सर, बहुत बहुत सारे परसेंटेज का
ठीक,
वो व्हाट यू मीन, इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग वी आर डिस्कसिंग सर।
It's okay.
नहीं
I
अच्छा,
understood the point.
अच्छा विश्वास साहब, मैं
We can
पूछना
agree.
चाहता हूँ कि ये एग्जिट की डेट भी पहले से ही पता लग जाएगी इस ट्रेड लेते समय ही क्या?
See,
जो
this
ट्रेड है
calendar will
एंट्री डेट
this
है?
on the 1st of Jan itself, this calendar will be prepared for you and it will not be changed for the rest of the year. So that means when 2026 Jan comes, 1st of Jan, and I put in all the 2025 data into the plan, right? So automatically when the data is processed, this calendar will be prepared. Calendar doesn't change day to day. Calendar
नहीं, मैं
is
ये
fixed.
पूछ रहा हूँ कि आज जैसे आज की तारीख में संजय 26 में जिस डेट में कौन सी एंट्री लेना है वो तो पता लग गया, मगर उसी समय एग्जिट की डेट भी मालूम पड़ जाएगी कि चौथे दिन है इसको एग्जिट करना है या
हाँ सर,
एग्जिट का?
देखो, every pattern has a period no attached to it. It will tell you when you are entering exit कब करना है, 5 दिन में आपको exit करना है, वो भी बता रहा है ना सब
अच्छा,
कुछ।
ये भी बता रहा है। अच्छा, अभी
हाँ,
एग्जिट का एग्जैक्ट टाइम नहीं मालूम पड़ेगा, मगर कि टाइम भी दे रहा है क्या या
नहीं
एग्जिट के
टाइम,
लिए?
see the thing is this analysis is based on end of day price. It is not on intraday basis, right? It is not an intraday trade.
हाँ, हाँ,
Try and understand this, right? So all the historical analysis that has been done using end of day closing price only.
या
Now, so it is best to enter when the market is about to close so that you capture as close to the closing price, because see perfect capture तो आप कर ही नहीं पाओगे, that is not possible.
हाँ, नहीं एंट्री का
But
तो क्लियर हो गया
हाँ, but
कि
आप अगर 3:20 को एंट्री डाल रहे हो then it is as good as closing price.
नहीं,
मतलब
एग्जिट का पूछ रहा हूँ कि एग्जिट के लिए दिन भर स्क्रीन पे बैठे रहना पड़ेगा कि कब एग्जिट का
नहीं,
टाइम
see,
आया?
you have to spend 15 minutes a day for entry exit, that's it. आप 3 बजे आइए स्क्रीन पे, if you want to analyze, do your analysis for 15 minutes, 3:15 to 3:25 you do your exit entries, that's it.
Sir, the entry also on 3 o'clock, after 3 o'clock only, sir.
Every execution has to happen
As a
around
entry
3:15.
3 o'clock, or execution also 3 o'clock,
See,
after
if
3
you
o'clock.
miss it, you do it on the next day.
अच्छा,
But
okay.
थोड़ा price variation हो जाएगा, gap up, gap down हो सकता है and all that, right? So if you want to capture that day का closing price, because that is what this pattern has been trained on, correct? So if you have to follow the calendar, and the calendar is basically saying you that you have to come to your screen, you have to open this app at 3 p.m. every day, and you look at your entries and exits. आप अगर थोड़ा बहुत technical analysis करना चाहते हैं तो कर लीजिए in the 15 minutes. So between 3:15 to 3:25 is your best time to execute. At least that is what I would recommend, right?
ठीक,
Because at that
अच्छा
time
दूसरा ये
all the intraday players are gone, right? ये market तो 3:15 में intraday close हो जाता है. So it is only for positional trade at that
ठीक,
time.
So,
अच्छा,
Gautam,
Hmm.
you mean to say that your calendar, this whole year's calendar will be given to us? I mean, come on the
Yeah, on
chart.
Jan 1st 2026 का calendar prepare हो जाएगा.
Okay, so, in fact,
If not Jan 1st, since I'm doing it for the first time, I'm saying within Jan 5th, I will give you the calendar for 2026.
that's fine. That's fine. What I'm trying to ask you is this. That means even during the day, suppose I've got nothing to do, say at 9:30, I open and I know today's stock is supposed to be bought at 3:15, whatever. I've got a date. Today is particular say DLF. Today DLF.
See,
So I know
you
it's supposed to
stick
be
to
bought.
one time. If you want to do it in the morning, then do everything in the morning only. After around 9:30, after the market opens, right? If you want to do end of the day, then do everything at the end of the day. Don't mix and
Okay.
match,
Okay.
right?
Fine.
Follow one execution system. Either end of the day 15 minutes you spend, you don't have to sit on the screen also. If you want, you put a GTC over a good till cancelled order. You design, I mean, I will tell you how much risk also you will put. So there is, you can look at the standard deviation of return. Whatever is the standard deviation, you can put it. That I will, teach you in the class, right? How you can put a stop loss. Yeah, मैं कुछ यहाँ पे enhancement करके I will also tell you, but usually, this pattern has been trained on without stop loss. Matlab, it has not applied any stop loss, right? So which means you are entering on that day, you are exiting on that day. But I will tell you, to be on the safe side, what is a safe stop loss, mathematically calculated stop loss, that I will tell you inside the class. Okay.
यस सर। तो सर जी मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं कि करीब 15 जनवरी या लगभग इस समय पे आप पूरे कैलेंडर या 26 का पूरे ट्रेड्स का आप दे
15
देंगे
नहीं,
हमको?
मतलब आई कैन लिटरली प्रिपेयर इट ऑन Jan 1st itself. Maybe see,
हाँ
once system जब बन जाएगा, then it will become like a job, right? It hardly takes me, half a day to process the data, right? So all of the data processing will be done. All of the updates will happen behind the scenes. You will not have to do anything.
और
When
पूरे
you come,
26 पूरे साल भर के लिए आप दे देंगे एडवांस में
हाँ,
सारी
पूरा
ट्रेड?
पूरा पूरा ट्रेड्स, पूरा कैलेंडर बन जाएगा on Jan 1st itself.
अच्छा।
Because see, the data is based on 2025 तक. It is not based on anything that will happen in 2026.
हम हिस्टोरिकल आप उस देख के और रिपीट कब कैसे होगा पैटर्न उस हिसाब से आप ट्रेड बना के दे देंगे
हाँ,
पहले से?
so it will redo all the analysis ना. वो जो
हम्म
16,000 पैटर्न्स है, वो पूरा डेटाबेस ही चेंज हो जाएगा. Are you following me? Maybe some will exit, some will enter, because statistics will change ना. देखो, अभी data has been trained on 2015 to 2024. Please understand this, because 2025 का data partial है. I can't use 2025 data as per process. I have to use a complete full year data, and complete full year अभी क्या है, 2024 ही है ना मेरे पास.
हाँ
2025
ठीक
का
है
data तो
बराबर
नहीं है.
हाँ
हाँ, तो
हाँ
जब 2025 का data आ जाएगा, I will shift the window by 1 year. मतलब
हम्म
2015 will go out,
हाँ
2025 will come in, but it will still be 10 years of data.
हाँ ठीक है मगर पूरे साल भर के ट्रेड एडवांस में मिल जाएंगे कि किस
पूरा
डेट
साल.
डेट में और कौन सा ट्रेड करना है?
हाँ, ये कैलेंडर बन जाएगा आपका पूरा.
कैलेंडर बन जाएगा?
हाँ, देखो, दिसंबर 31st तक है आपका ट्रेडिंग कैलेंडर.
अभी जैसे दिसंबर का बता दीजिए आप, आगे कल के लिए ट्रेड बने हुए हैं आपके?
यस, यू टेल मी where we are today.
दिसंबर तक के ट्रेड
नवंबर,
बने हैं आपके?
नवंबर है ना अभी. हाँ, तो अभी देखो, दिसंबर का कैलेंडर ये है, पूरा बना हुआ है. ऑल द
नहीं कोई
कैलेंडर.
डेट में खोल के आप बताइए कौन सी ट्रेड लेना है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल ऐसे
Why,
बता
sir, you
सकते
have
हैं?
to have that much money in your bank account, huh? 4 lakhs and something to it.
No, that is because, see, the money has started. See, I am showing you na what is the P&L of each trade. You can do the maths and see, right? So ये बढ़ते बढ़ते, by the time it came to December, your 1 lakh has actually become 4 lakhs, and you are trading in 4 lakhs in December. That is the beauty of micro compounding, no? जो मैं आपको समझाने का कोशिश कर रहा था अब तक. It is
Gautam,
compounding at the highest level.
Gautam,
हाँ,
yeah, one query is there.
yeah.
See, right now the community is limited right now over here. If you are tomorrow, you are going to expand the community, and this calendar will get leaked to the hedge fund group. They will reverse the all the trades, no?
See, देखो, ये तो like, that only time will tell, right? That is a good point. That is the reason I don't want to give access to anybody and everybody, right? I want to only give it to a trusted circle of, few people, right? Especially the elite access, right? Free में लोग को जो करना है करने दो, right? Because I have not exposed my entire database there. But elite access, and that is why purposefully have kept it at a reasonable price. I've not set it too high and too low. Obviously, price will increase. The offers that all of you got was, only for a limited number of people, right? So I will try to consciously make sure that, see, the other thing is, I am trying to put in all safeguards. See, if it has to leak, it has to leak through one of you only, right? Right? If you don't leak, then it won't leak, right? So if you want to keep it a secret, it will be a secret. If you don't want to make it a secret, then it will go. But even if hedge fund क्या करेगा? See, the way you will execute and I will execute is not the same. It's not like my algo is trading for you, right? It is not like, it will get the same exact price. 19-20 होगा.
Right.
See, at that
No,
level,
right now it's
nobody
no
can.
issue because there is a very limited,
And you see, it
communities
is
there.
not
So
like
it's
a 10-minute, 1 hour kind of trade, right? जो operator can manipulate for 8 days. Can they manipulate for 3 days for all the patterns? Is it possible? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to time
that's
will
just
tell.
my query. So
See, honestly, I don't know how to answer that question because I've not faced that situation yet. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to collectively think about how
So we
not
all can
to.
become fund managers.
See, in that case, I have to stop giving all these things in the app. That is the only way I can stop it, right? I have to send it to your personal inbox. But one of you can still leak it, no? If I send, because the moment it comes to you, it becomes your property. And how you use your property, that is your consciousness again, right? So if you want to leak it, you can leak it, right? That is why I'm not sending all these things in emails and all. I'm not even giving you an expert option, right? I will see if I can lock down. But see, people who want to hack, they will figure out ways to hack, right? वो तो हम प्रिवेंट नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Good evening, Gautam. Can I speak? This is
Yeah,
Ravi here.
yeah, Ravi.
Yeah, what is the best minimum amount to invest? Minimum amount.
See, there is nothing like best, but see, since these are all mid small caps, right? I am assuming that most of the stock price would be reasonable, right? मतलब, and see if the stock price, let's say MRF का stock price itself is 1 lakh,
Yes, sir.
right? So can you trade MRF? No, the answer is no, right? So I have probably not done that filtering. Maybe I should do that, right? Price based filtering. That is a good point, but you can only trade to the extent your capital allows.
Yes, sir.
If the price of that stock, see, allocation is given to you, right? You know that you have this much capital and you can allocate that you have decided 15%.
Yes, sir.
So, which means whatever is that 15% amount divided by the share price will be the number of stocks. Maybe I should also, do that and see if it is practical. That's a good point you raised, Ravi. I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
that constraint of the number of stocks, but I'll try to make sure that at least one stock you can trade based on the price. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि भाई you choose a pattern जिसका price ही इतना high है that is more than your capital. But my
Yes, sir.
suggestion is if you really want to make a portfolio, it doesn't make sense if you want to do it with less than 1 lakh, to be honest, right? I mean, the more money you have, the more faster it will compound, right? Obviously, if you are not in the position to take that much risk, I would say start with 1 lakh. See, put that much money that you can afford to lose. That is always my advice. There is a
Yes,
game
sir.
of equity that you put money that you don't need in the next, ideally in the next 5 years, ideally in the next 10 years also. That means forget that that money is gone. Now, if that money comes back as 10 lakhs, that is good for you, no? You will be positively surprised.
Yes,
But
sir.
in a
What I meant to say.
cash market, you can never lose all your money. This is not an F&O game, first of all. So 99% of the risk is eliminated, right? वो
No,
जो
what I'm
1%,
trying to say, sir.
hmm.
If I'm having only 20,000 rupees, I cannot, that 20,000 rupees should be allocated to 6
आप
stocks.
then you can choose maybe max one stock and allocate 100% of your capital into that stock आप एक ही but then
Okay, sir.
आपका return काफी कम हो जाएगा because you will not have access to a lot of trades, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So capital
And
is
keep on, you are saying that it is a portfolio. Sorry to say, for my understanding, portfolio means for a long time people invest usually.
portfolio means what? It's a suitcase, right? I mean that's a umbrella
Yes,
term,
sir.
right? So it's a collection of things that
But
is a portfolio. I can call it
but
suitcase also.
sometimes every one day we are taking out once in 5 days we are taking out continuously we are
That is
investing and
swing
taking
trading, right?
out.
You're swinging with risk. See, because the why you're taking out, that also you have to ask, no? Because
Yes, sir.
you have achieved your goal for that, that pattern उतना दिन के लिए ही था. If you trade beyond that, then you have to, that pattern is not meant for beyond that time frame, right? That is why you're taken out money. You have switched your money to something which is more suitable for that period. Are you getting my point? And that is
Yes,
how
sir. Yes,
you're
sir.
able to generate this return, no? Because you are rolling your money to the best candidates for that period. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
For
that is
that
how
rolling also, it is continuously suggesting when to take out.
yeah, so these green dots are telling you what to enter, right? And when you open this, it will tell you exactly what are the entries. See, this is your trading calendar for that day period, right? आपको
Yes,
there
sir.
are 5 entries. there is one exit. Settlement though is an automatic process that you don't have to do. You have to figure out which one you have to. I suggest you do the exits first, then do the entries. So look at your
Okay,
exit
sir.
column. So let's say on this day, there is 5 exit, there is no entries. That means you will only execute these 5 trades.
Yes, sir.
You have running positions, you will just go and exit at market.
Sir, all these are coming from GAN or some cycles. What, sir?
This is based on seasonality analysis, right? So seasonality is a concept of identifying when is the best time to trade something, anything. You can apply seasonality to corn, wheat, sugarcane, anything, any commodity,
Yes,
anything that has a history of 10 years, you can apply concept of seasonality.
Sir, you are
Because
keep on
see,
saying, sorry.
at the end of the day, it is all based on demand and supply, right? Certain things have demand in certain periods, and that is captured by the data.
Yes, sir.
Why is it possible that, why is this stock performing, 10 out of 10 years, it has performed bullish? There must be some cosmic reason, no? Or some reason that we are not aware of. But the data captures that phenomenon. See, I'm not trying to identify why it happened. I'm just trading the effect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The fact that it has happened is good enough for me, because my goal is to make money, not to be lost in the analysis and to find. I'm not a scientist here, right? I'm not trying to question that Q pattern kam kiya hai. Maybe,
Yes, sir.
if I am dealing with one stock, I can go deep. I will teach that technique inside the class, right? Those who are elite members. So you can actually create a monthly calendar of one stock also that I've already taught to many of you, right? Like Nifty ka एक pattern होता है बैंक निफ्टी का, so you will know when to enter nifty, when to exit nifty based on that itself.
Yes, sir.
This is taking it to the next level. It is not just looking at nifty or just bank nifty, and it is taking the entire umbrella of universe that you have, and it is telling you when to enter something, when to exit something. That's it. So all you have to follow is, if you trust the system, is when the system is telling you to enter, you enter. When the system is telling you to exit, you exit. That's all you have to do. Calendar is prepared for you. You don't have to look at anything else. See, all
Yes,
these
sir.
other screens are just for your knowledge only, knowledge purpose, right? बट ये तो बार बार
Yes, sir.
देखना नहीं है, राइट? एक बार देखना है, राइट? दैट इज फॉर योर इंफॉर्मेशन ओनली. आपका जो एक्टिविटी टैब इज दिस वन, दिस कैलेंडर टैब. दिस इज वेयर ऑल ऑफ योर एक्शन इज, and that too, just open, look at the entries, make a buy order, look at the exit, make a sell order.
Sir, several times you said 16,000 patterns. So who invented them? Who found them? Who noticed them? You
No
yourself or
invention. So, it is just like I've been studying seasonality for a long time, right? I said that, okay, if I have to use that as a portfolio manager, how will think about seasonality? I started with that question in my mind. That triggered a flow of thoughts. I did several data experiments, right? Like I said, initially I started with all periods, right? Literally, I took all 1 day periods, all 2 day periods, all 3 day periods, like that up to 90 days. Then I realized when I did the stack ranking that obviously a 90-day pattern will not give consistent return because it's a very huge time. So the best window I found was this 3 to 5 day periods. Because it is not too large, it is not too small. I eliminated even the 1 2 day patterns. There is no 1 2 day patterns here in my database.
Yes, sir.
It is only, I have only kept 3 to 15 day patterns. And you will find the average is around 3 to 5. Most would be around 3 to 5 days. Few will be 10 days. Maybe maximum you will find it 10-day patterns. Beyond that, you will not find in the database. So
I
that
have
way,
seen several questions inside, sir. Is there any trial calendar, 1 month, for 1 week? Some
so
people are
it is
asking. So that
completely
is my
free.
request also.
It is completely free to use, but you will not have access to the entire database.
Which means what are the limitations, sir?
You will
Can
have,
I earn money
100.
or
I have given you top 10 Nifty stocks. I have chosen 100 patterns from that just to give you a flavor of how it is. You will make
anyhow we
money with
couldn't
that.
enter into the calculator. We don't know that online issue came. So anyhow, you resolve it.
No, see, like somebody said, right? This is not a charity program, right? This is for serious wealth builders who trust or wants to do a systematic way of trading. Because see, otherwise it becomes, your mind versus my mind, right? So if you want to follow a systematic calendar approach, this is the best that I could come up with, right? Obviously, I'm not saying this is the best and this is the only thing. And I will also have to think about,
Okay.
piracy and other concepts, right? So those things. That is
No,
why I've kept it, invite only. I'm not even giving access to the elite unless I trust that person, right? Unless I know that person in person, I'm not even giving access to them right now,
okay.
right?
No,
So
some link you have given, we tried, but failed to enter into it. So
in the
we want
database,
to see inside actually.
Acha, so you're not able to log in, is it?
Yes,
No,
sir.
there
Some
are
message is coming, not
Acha.
for
So
new users, and those things are coming.
can you send me a screenshot? I dropped in my number. If you can just send me the screenshot of the error, because
Gautam, I just sent it to you on WhatsApp while
so
ago.
all of you kindly please, send the screenshot to me. I will have to debug what is the issue. Maybe there are some See, I have built in a lot of security measures, right? For very specific reasons. In fact, I will advise that all of you who are going
Otherwise,
to get
otherwise,
any.
shall we give our numbers, sir, in the chat?
No, don't give the numbers. I don't have any person to,
One
call.
screenshot has come to you from someone.
No, I'm saying I have put my number. Those you send the message to me, that way, everything would be on my WhatsApp. It will be very difficult for me to collect everything from this chat, and because I don't have any other helpers right now with me on this call. Okay. So my request is that you
Okay, sir.
communicate with me rather than me, picking up all the things, right? So whoever is facing challenges, just send me a message with your screenshot. Then I will look at it. If there is a common pattern that I see, I will know where the error is and I will fix it, and I will message in the group, right? So once the issue is fixed, and then you can all test and tell me if it is working.
Mr. Biswas, I just have one question.
Yeah.
What after 3 months I want to increase my portfolio value? I want to pump in another 3 lakhs or 5 lakhs or XYZ amount. Then what would happen?
See, nothing,
The calendar will be rebuilt.
no. So that feature is not there. So the portfolio assumes only you can put capital at the beginning of the year. I mean, it's a fixed amount, right? So you can put 1 lakh, 2. See, you can build multiple portfolios that way, right? You can build a portfolio with 1 lakh. You can build a portfolio with 2 lakhs. But then right now it will start at Jan 1 and it will end in December 31st. There is no mid-year increase decrease provision as of now. Yeah, so that will be like another feature addition in the future, like how people do step up SIPs, right? Let's say you will say that every quarter I want to increase by 10%, right? That is how step ups work, right? All that is not there, but you can build another portfolio with, what would happen if I started with 3 lakhs, but then that it will assume that, you started on Jan 1st itself, right? So you can't start mid-year, at least that feature is not there. Maybe I can see, how I can do a partial calendar and all that. But these are all, advanced features. वो बनाएंगे. I mean, if there are a lot of people who need it. My suggestion is, don't have to do too much, right? I mean, if you want, my recommendation would be you build 3, 4 portfolios. Let's say, you build one portfolio with one set of conditions, right? You build another portfolio with another set of conditions, right? And then you allocate 1 lakh here, 1 lakh here, 1 lakh here. Keep it simple, right? Don't try to make it complex and all of that, right? So, and then let it go. And then next year you can build another portfolio, with more capital, because now your conviction is there, you know that it is working and you want to scale up. So next year when you build a portfolio, you say that, okay, I'm going to straight away start with 3 lakhs. That you can do. And see that capital is just a number. It is the percentages that matter, right? Because 15% of 1 lakh is a number, right? And so is that. The only thing is that how much trades that you do depends on how much capital you have. It is giving you a percentage allocation, right? So if you want to increase it, you follow the percentages at least, right? Don't exceed more than 15%, don't exceed more than 10%, whatever the risk measure you have set. Okay? You can always do all those adjustments, but the calendar will not change, based on your capital. It will assume that it started with some capital and it is ending with some capital. That's it.
I
Gautam,
sent
this
one
is
screenshot,
restricted
sir. I
to.
believe everybody is facing almost a similar issue.
So I have to take a look because this is the first time, it went live today, right?
Okay, sir.
So these kind of issues are expected. So we'll see.
Gautam, this is pure equity play, or it will
This
include
is
commodities, options as well?
no, so as of now, I have not exposed anything other than equity, right? Because I want people to experience one asset class, build conviction that it works, and then see, because commodities is more risky, right? There is more risk involved. So that is why I purposefully kept the risky assets aside. But at some point, I will add, for especially for the elite members, I will add commodities, I will add international equity, I will add US ETFs also. So I will add US equity, US ETFs and commodities. उसका database है मेरे पास, but अभी ऐप में available नहीं है. That I will launch maybe in a month's time, or within the next 3 months I will launch that. I want to see how it works, in pure equity, and then see, it is more like there will be some options here. You will be able to choose what database you want. The database of Indian equities is right now this, right? So if there is an international equity database, it will have its own set. I will not let you mix and match, right? So if you want to trade international equity, you have to create a portfolio with only international stocks only, matlab US stocks only, right? Like that. If you are doing commodities, you can build a portfolio of commodities only. I will give you maybe 8 to 10 commodities, and it will build a calendar with only commodities, right? Let's say gold, silver, natural gas, whatever. And for that, I have to consider, futures rate and all that. So it's a little bit more complex in terms of the allocations and all that. So I have to think a little bit more, right? In terms of, so I didn't have that much time to build the whole thing yet, but it will come. So commodities, I have the database. It is just that, since it is futures and options, the allocation can't be the same, right? So I'll have to consider lot size and few other adjustments has to be made, right? So once I have all that logic in place, I can roll out that would be, a simple matter to roll out, right? But that will only be available to elite, right? It will not even be available to any other tier members.
Hello.
Yeah. What is the success
Hello.
rate, sir? 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20?
Where are you seeing those numbers?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is the success rate of this software? 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20, or
It's around 70%,
100?
I would say, right? So 7 out of 10 trades, is expected to be profitable. And that too, since you have chosen, patterns with a historical backtest of 10 years, right? See, even if it loses max, you know how much max it can lose because you have the data. And I will show you a technique of how you can set a stop loss. So your max risk is defined for each trade. You can never lose more than that in one particular trade. And the thing is, your portfolio literally consists of around 350 trades, right? And that is the reason you are seeing so much returns, right? मतलब आप percentage basis में देखो ना, अगर 350 trades on an average अगर 1% generate किया, then that is 350% for the year, correct?
Yes, sir.
On an average, agar every pattern, see, this is an average, it's around 359. That you can see, right? If you go to the calendar, it is saying what? 354 entries, 354 exit. Matlab, the 354 is the average number of trades you are doing. So, which means if
Yes.
every trade gave on average 1%, so you will make 354% for the year, right? But your backtest is saying that it has given more than that. Matlab, average is more than 1%. The average
Yes, sir.
return per trade is more than 1%. That is how you are able to
Somewhere
generate.
you said the software never hit the stop loss. So it's like 100% success rate, no,
No,
sir?
it is 75%. No, so if you go to the back test, you will be able to know. I forgot to show you this tab, right? So it shows you the monthly breakdown of the performance of each year, each month. So can you see that there was only one negative month in this entire 120 month ka jo backtesting period? There is only one negative month. That too, it is very close to zero. It is not a huge drawdown. Now, if you
Okay.
dip into this month,
Okay.
it will actually show you how this month performed, right? Across the history, how this month performed in 2015, how this month performed 2016, sub statistics आपको दे रहा है. So I have made this as transparent as possible for you,
Yes, sir.
right?
So can
So
we
देखो
use
यहाँ
this for
पे max
intraday also,
drawdown.
sir?
see, there will be drawdowns. There will be trades that will not work. And this one has not even put a stop loss. So it is basically entering and exiting on closing price only. It is not doing any other sophisticated technical analysis. Nothing it is doing. No Bollinger Band, EAO, SMA, nothing it is doing. Right? It is simply going and following the pattern. What is a pattern? It is saying that between this day to that day, I have expectation of certain return. It is simply going and entering on that day and exiting on that day. That is what pattern trading means. You are actually trading time.
Yes, sir.
You are actually trading time, which has been validated with 10 years of data. That's it. So it's a data-backed trading. You can say it that way. Dekho, see, this month, the win rate was only 41%. Can you see? That means
Then how to become elite member, sir?
That, you message me. So I have an offer. I am not disclosing the offer right away. That is why I'm waiting for the mastermind session next week is where I will, formally announce the offer. So you can attend the 3-day masterclass. There, I hope to add a lot more value, right? Because it will be 3, days into 2 hours each, right? So this already is running beyond 2 hours. So, and maybe in those 3 days, I'm going to reveal the offer for all of you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So see,
We are waiting for that, sir.
The average utilization. So this is the secret sauce, it has never dipped. That means your capital is always working. This is what this graph is showing you. Okay, now let me show you what will happen if you just pick the 5-star patterns, let's say. Yeah, so now you have only picked 5-star patterns and then you say, okay, I'm just building with 5 stars, right? Then you build a portfolio with 5 stars. Then I will show you the utilization graph. You'll see that there are dips. Matlab, it is not finding enough patterns to trade. Sorry, kahan pe? Back. You're seeing these dips. That means in this period, it has not found enough patterns to fill these days. Are you seeing this? And look at the returns. Even though they are the best patterns, right? But the return is far worse. The portfolio return is far worse than what you do with if you traded all the patterns. So that is what I mean by you cannot be selective because the algorithm has already applied a lot of filters and a lot of selective things it has done, and only then it has come up with this pattern list. Now, if you try to apply, then it becomes your system, not this system. So you will have to go and backtest and you will have to figure out how that works, right? This system has been built on a certain, principle, right? Which is about identifying analyzing each and every period for each and every stock, right? I identify all 1-day period, all 2-day period, all 3-day period, all the way to all 90-day periods, right? So technically, I have taken 30,000 possibilities for each stock. Now 500 into 30,000, right? That is, more than 15 million patterns I've analyzed to come up with this 16,000. ये जो आप 10,000 20,000 का list देख रहे हो, that is after eliminating from 20 million to I have got down to this 20,000. That's literally 1% of the possible universe. Right? So whatever I'm showing is literally
Sir,
the
is it
base.
web-based?
You can see, no, it is all web-based. It will work on any browser.
No. Is it Play Store based Android
No.
or
It
web
is a
only
pure
web reserved for web?
It is a web application. You can use it on mobile. I have not done a lot of testing on mobile, but it is mobile friendly. Okay. So you can use it on your mobile. You can use it on your desktop. You can use it on your TV also.
Any possibility of Android application, sir?
No, not needed, right? Because the goal is to, use the app, right? Not the platform, right? So what is the purpose of building an Android? Why should I spend money building an app when it is not required?
Okay, sir.
सर जी कोई एक पैटर्न का एग्जांपल देके समझाइए ना, समझ में नहीं आ रहा पैटर्न से आपका क्या मतलब है?
वही तो पहले समझाया था.
Gautam, I have one question. For example, I get into a trade, right? There is certain amount, say 2% risk I have allocated. So how do I know, when should I exit the trade? Maybe, it's taken U-turn. How should we handle the exits if it's going the other way around?
See, I have not added that score, but let me see if it is there. Yeah, so this where So see, this is your stop loss basically. Are you able to see this number? WAR 95%.
Okay.
Technically, if you're trading this, you should set a stop loss of 0.85%. That's it. So every pattern will have this number. So whatever that number is your stop loss. This
Okay.
literally says that only 5 out of 5 percentile, this is the rare case when it will actually, hit this much stop. See, first of all, you can see that all the years are positive, right? Which means your VARP is actually positive number, not even negative. But you can invert the sign and say, okay, I will put, maybe you can round it off to 1%. So 0.85 is roughly 1%. So you can put a 1% stop loss. So let's look at some low quality patterns. Let's say 1 star वाले को choose करते हैं, right? Cochin Shipyard. इसको देखते हैं. देखो, why it is 1 star you will now understand. So when I showed you a 5 star, you saw a lot of skyscrapers, right? I mean, of course, 6 buildings were tall. यहाँ पे you have only 1 tall building. So that means what? I cannot trust this pattern too much, right? But does it mean that this pattern is useless? No, maybe, even if it gives a decent 2-3% return, तो कुछ तो मिला है ना? And negative returns तो ज़्यादा है ही नहीं. Negative returns -1.45 है, माइनस तो ज़्यादा नहीं है. तो your VARP is -1.3. That means you can put a stop loss of -1.5%. भूल जाओ उसको फिर. That is your maximum risk, no, in the trade. See, in 100 trades, 30 आपका loss में जाएगा. Maybe in a worst year, 60 will be in loss, 40 will be profits. But that 40 will make so much profit for you. See, that is what this is showing you, na? If you understand the meaning of this, let me go back. Sorry, ये अच्छा चलो 1 star में बना के देखते हैं क्या होगा. All 1 star से पोर्टफोलियो बनाते हैं. अभी 1 star selected है. Let's see how much return it will generate compared to the 5 star. 5 star में I think remember it was 350%, right? So let's see how much 1 star, if you just made a portfolio of 1 star, I don't know why you would do that. But even then it gave you 150% returns, right? And if you look at the back test and monthly numbers, now can you see a lot of red months? जब मैंने पूरा पोर्टफोलियो लिया था, there was only one negative month. अभी देखो कितना सारे negative month, lot of this low green, I mean dark green. Dark green means it is low performance months, right? But if I go back to my all portfolio, all star portfolio, then only one negative month I got in the 120 months, last 120 months. See, that is the beauty. And average return देखो 7%, almost half of what you would get in a full portfolio. That means a team cannot be made of one Virat Kohli and one Bumrah, right? For a team to perform, you need all kinds of players. So what this portfolio manager is doing you is selecting the best players given the time window. It is going and analyzing based on the entry exit criteria, right? Because see, it can only take an entry when there is money available to take a trade. Let's say, you have taken 6 entries on Jan Fast itself. Now, unless and until you exit those 6 entries, you do not have capital to trade, no. So even if I have 100 patterns, I cannot trade. I can only trade 6 patterns because I have only so much capital. Only when I exited those 5 patterns, then I can find the next best opportunity. That is what this portfolio is constantly doing. Every time it is exiting, it is trying to find, acha, what is my next best opportunity that I should. So it is rolling your capital between multiple trades. And on an average year, if you remember using the old thing, you are getting 350. With 1 star, you are getting 287 patterns, right? You can only build a portfolio with 5 stars also now, right? You eliminate this thing, or let's say 5, 4, and 3 stars. तो कुछ भी कर सकते हो, you have all the flexibility and all of this is almost instant for you. Only this thing takes a little bit of time because it is doing the 10 years of back testing based on this filter, right? So it takes some time because even then it is not very different. I mean, the all portfolio return was 464. This is giving you around 400 and roughly same number of trades. So, if you want, you can stick to this. If you go to the back test and look at the monthly returns, again, only one negative return, few, very close to zero returns, right? 2-3%, but average is around 14%. So the best you can expect is, monthly average of around, even a monthly average of 10% means literally you are making 100% profits in a year. right? If you just take simple interest, if you take, see, the reason the the overall return is more than 140% is because of the compounding effect. And that compounding effect you can find by going to the calendar, because I have given trade by trade accounting for you, so that everything is in front of your eyes, nothing is hidden. How that 1 lakh grew to whatever, at the end of the year, if you go, this 1 lakh has become 4,75,000. But उसका पूरा जर्नी आपके पास अवेलेबल है भाई. कैसे हुआ 1 lakh 4,75,000? Is it gimmick? No, it is not gimmick. I've given you trade by trade accounting, including the settlement and cash and and that too following a T+1 settlement as per the Indian stock exchange calendar. I've not even done a T+0, right? So everything is transparent. The monthly summaries are given for you in a header. Jan mein itna hua hai. You have a monthly summary tab also. Feb mein itna hua hai, right? 12% in Feb. In March, you made 10%, right? Look at these monthly numbers, right? Every month you're getting positive only 16%, right? In this thing. 11%, like that. And you can go and look at, now see, this 2025 is based on average numbers. But if you go and look at 2015, let's say, right, these are real trades and real values, right? Because you are taking the actual pricing and you are taking only for that year how it performed. Even then, look at this. January gave 22%, February gave around 14%, right? And that data is actually available in your backtest. That is the same data, it is all collectively put here for you. So this is giving you a bird's eye view of how your portfolio performed. So it is not 1 month it has performed, 2 months it has performed, 3 months. It has performed every month, month on month. Only one negative month in this entire backtest of 120 months, only one negative month, as you can see, right? And this is, the typical yearly performance. 2015, it has given 365%, 2016 around 290, to 2017 around 297, like that, right? This is the worst year, I think. 2018 was only 140. But even a worst year is around more than 100%. Imagine that, right? So even COVID, right, which is supposed to be, a lot of crash happened. I'll show you what happened in March 2020. 12% return, right? And this is how every year it performed in March. So you are basically getting the March ka trend. Kaisa hai? So 2015, it is like that. 2016, it is like that. 2017, it is like this. It is only highlighting that month, right? And this line is the average for the month. 2025 is the average line, right? So if you sum all this and take the average, that is what you would expect. See, some years it has underperformed. Can you see this? Which year it has underperformed? I think 2019. See, 2020 was a good year. 2019, nahi. 2018 was the worst. Can you see? It's significantly underperformed, right? So, see, it is the law of averages, right? Some will underperform, some will perform, some will overperform. The net effect is that your portfolio will grow no matter what happens. That is how this thing works. There is a law of averages, right? And since these patterns are selected just on beta only without bias, right? I have not put my own thinking behind it, right? Just a pure statistical analysis. I have analyzed every window, 1 day pattern, 2 day pattern, 3 day pattern, and I've given I've basically ranked this pattern simply based on returns. If some pattern gives me more return in less time, that is more valuable to me. Let's say two patterns, let us compare. Let's say there is a 3 day pattern that gave you 5%, and there is a 15-day pattern that gave you 5%. Which is more valuable? Obviously, the 3 day pattern is more valuable because my money is working less time to earn more. मतलब 3 दिन में वो 5% दिया है. So effectively, if I divide by the number of days, my effective return is much more because that money will be freed and I can put that money in something else. So I will score that shorter. That is the reason you are seeing that, it is, the average duration is 3 to 5 days. That is because longer patterns will get penalized. You're following me, right? If a pattern gave 5% in 90 days versus the same, the same pattern for the same stock in 3 days, it gave 5%. My valuable pattern is that 3 day wala pattern. Because short term में मुझे ज़्यादा बना के दे रहा है. Right? So that is how this whole mechanics is working. Okay. And so yeah, I mean, I've probably given more data than you need. Whatever I could conceive, I have put. It is, I feel, more than enough. But yes, if you feel anything else will be more valuable, obviously, happy to work with you and,
Gautam, can I do search by stock as well to check?
yeah,
For
I
example,
showed you, in the beginning itself.
I can just do that. Okay, okay.
Which stock you want? Tell me.
With stock. Okay,
Tell me the
Trent.
name.
Trent, for example, Trent was moving for.
Trent, does Trent have a history?
I think so. TRENT. Yeah.
हाँ है ना, देखो ट्रेंड का कितना पैटर्न, 10 पैटर्न्स है. नो एप्स, लेट्स मूव द फिल्टर्स. So trend has 32 patterns. See, on an average per stock, you will get 30 to 40 patterns max.
Yeah. Now,
Across
and
the board.
one more question. If I'm looking for bearish trades, for example, post Jan, the market starts correction, right?
ये
So,
bearish trades आ गया आपका.
तो ये 1 star में चूज करना है क्या?
नहीं, just bearish choose करना है.
Okay, so okay.
देखो ये bullish है, ये bullish tag आ रहा है ना,
हम्म.
ये bearish हो गया. देखो,
Oh.
if you go look at this, 1 2 3 4 5 7, this is a 80% bearish pattern. मतलब 8 out of 10 times it has given negative return in this period. That is why it's a bearish pattern.
Oh, okay.
So this doesn't have the challenge with the indicator, right? In indicator you have to inverse ना, वो inversion मैंने करके दिया हूँ इधर, तो यहाँ पे वो problem नहीं है. So this 80% means it is 80% bearish only.
So it's good for a put, to buy puts.
It is good for puts, correct. You can short. But then, see, there is a little bit of a challenge with shorting. You have to go to FNO, right? You can't do equity short, no?
No, FNO.
So, capital is, you'll have to keep separate thing for bearish, right? I mean, if you want to trade, right? It can't be the same 1 lakh that you use for bullish, because there you can just buy so many stocks. But in equity, I mean, the moment you're going to FNO, you are naturally trading 1 lot minimum, right? And 1 lot could be 100 stocks of Reliance and 300 stocks for Maruti. So that means that much capital is required, right? Right? The deal, right? You need minimum 2 lakhs per lot. 2 to 3 lakhs. Minimum recommendation is 3 lakhs per lot if you want to trade in stock options. So capital is required if you want to do. Now imagine there are 10 bearish stocks, or let's say I've kept 6, right? That means I literally need, if I have to short all 6 positions, I literally need, 15, 20 lakhs in my account to be able to trade bearish positions. That's the only difference, right? Otherwise, there is no difference. Pattern wise, so they are same. But trading is not possible in bearish without taking higher risk and also higher capital. More risk, more capital. So that is why if you don't want to take that risk, the safe bet is to put a bullish filter. That's all. Don't trade bearish patterns at all. That is safer because market is naturally bullish. I mean, that your data is telling you this, right? Once you analyze the data, you will know that you have more bullish patterns than bearish patterns, right? I mean, if you remove this, reset this, right? कितना bullish patterns है देखो. 10,000 out of that 16,000, 10,000 bullish patterns है, and around 6,000 are bearish. Still, it is significant. It's not, but then see, look at the win rate for bearish patterns. Maximum आपका, you will never get a bearish pattern with 100% win rate, because some months will definitely be positive. You're seeing it. I have not found a single pattern in bearish which has more than 70-80% win rate. Very few. 100% तो आपको मिलेगा ही नहीं. देखिए, you can actually do a filter here. Let's say if I do an 80% filter, हाँ देखो ये सब है, 80% फिर भी है. अगर 100% है कोई 100% भी है actually. That's good. So there are 37, 100% bearish patterns. Maybe you can trust these ones, right? So Renuka, look at this. Every year it has given negative returns. Can you see this? From 2nd May to 6th May, 4 दिन का period है. Every year it has given bearish return. Yeah?
और इसमें तो हम ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं, उसके अंदर हम ये एफएनओ में काम करें खाली स्टॉक में, कैपिटल तो बढ़ेगी.
एफएनओ में काम करने के लिए प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, यू हैव टू टेक मोर रिस्क एंड यू नीड मोर कैपिटल. इट्स अ गेम ऑफ कैपिटल. and
गौतम,
minor.
कैन वी सेग्रीगेट एफएनओ स्टॉक्स? मतलब अलग से ग्रुप करके कर सकते हैं
हाँ,
क्या?
आप पोर्टफोलियो बना सकते हो ना. सी यू कैन बिल्ड मल्टीपल पोर्टफोलियोज. लाइक हमने पोर्टफोलियो बना के, सी लाइक दिस, व्हेन यू बिल्ड मल्टीपल पोर्टफोलियोज इट विल शो अप ऑन दिस टैब. And each portfolio has its own calendar. ऐसे नहीं कि calendar is shared. So let's say this is my bearish only portfolio, right? And this is my bullish only portfolio. So let's say if I view the bearish only portfolio, this portfolio is only built on bearish patterns. There is no bullish pattern in this. So I can go and set a different capital for this, right? And trade. See, the जो calendar है, this entire calendar is made up of bearish patterns only. But return देखो, return is much lesser than bearish. Obviously, bearish का, but then see, if you trade in FNO, this return itself is phenomenal returns. Correct? Win rate is slightly lower. That was 75%, this is 71, but still it works, right? If you go to backtest and see, see, there are more drawdowns years, right? Which means bullish patterns actually has performed well consistently than bearish. You can see the return also, right? Around 10%, whereas bullish ka around 14% tha. It's not like you can't trade. It's just like the bearish patterns don't is not as good overall. But then see, if you combine both, that is best. So when you don't put any filter, it will automatically choose all the patterns. So for example, in my all patterns portfolio, I'll show you. This is all patterns. यहाँ पे filter नहीं है. देखो, जब मैं all patterns लिया, उसका overall performance 464% था. When I took, sorry, ये click हो गया. When I selected only, just one moment, when I selected only bullish, that also gave me close, right? But when I selected bearish only, the performance dropped by half. Where is 464 and this is 227 only, which means bearish pattern on an average has not given as much performance as bullish pattern. And some people psychologically, like I am also one of them, I don't like shorting stocks, except couple of strategies that I have that I think some of you know, right? Like the Gann pressure date and all that special strategies meant for shorting. I don't know. Psychologically, I find shorting difficult. I don't know why, especially in stocks. I like shorting in commodities. So I play long short in only in commodities. I don't play short side on stocks at all. So stocks for me is like, a wealth builder tool, right? I will only play the long because see, even if I go down, मेरा maximum risk क्या है? 1-2% ही है, right? And the law of averages means that, on an average, I will win more than I will lose more, right? So my risk is very, very minimal because this is my wealth builder, right? So I don't want to take excessive risk with my wealth. So I will try to put more, let's say 70% allocation. Maybe you follow the 80-20, right? I mean, you put 20% of your capital on the risky things, right? What you want to do, and then put 70-80% in a non-risk. This is less risky, right? Pure equity is much less riskier than, if you go to FNO. The reason, a lot of people today are losing, and as per SEBI also, right? 97% of traders are losing money because they're only doing FN only.
सर, आप पर्सनली इस स्ट्रेटजी को कब से, बुलिश स्ट्रेटजी कब से आप यूज कर रहे हैं? आपको अपना पर्सनल कितने साल का अनुभव है इसमें?
अभी तो लॉन्च किया हो, अभी यूज करेंगे ना. अब तो
अगर यूज
रिसर्च मोड में था ना. लास्ट 3 years आई वाज इन रिसर्च मोड, तो एक्टिवली यूज नहीं किया है. आई मीन इट इज ऑन एंड ऑफ आई हैव यूज्ड, राइट, जस्ट फॉर फुल ट्रांसपेरेंसी. सो देयर इज नो पॉइंट.
अभी आपने इसको 4 महीने से कर रहे हो, 6 महीने से कर रहे हो, तो उसका क्या रिजल्ट रहा?
सर उसका रिजल्ट तो मैंने आपको पब्लिश करके दिया है यहाँ पे. That is based on the data, right? That is not based on what I would do. See, obviously this assumes that you will have to trade exactly at the closing day price, right? Now, maximum slippage क्या हो सकता है? मतलब 1-2% इधर, sometimes it will be in your favor, sometimes it will be against you, right? But see,
Yes, yes.
आपको 400% शायद नहीं मिलेगा, right? But even if you get half of that, right? Even if you get 1/4 of that, right? That is very decent returns, no? Only thing is
Yes.
that, you have to stay consistent, right? The consistency means you have to follow the calendar. You can't be selective saying, oh, मैं जैन का ट्रेड लूंगा, फरवरी का नहीं लूंगा, या फिर मार्च में करूंगा. तो your performance will not match the expected return, right? It will
Yes,
only
yes.
match if you go and trade all. So because see, you are giving your capital room to play. You don't know when you are entering the trade whether the trade will succeed or not.
Yes, 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 yes.
But you have an historical average. You know how that stock or that trade would have performed in the last 10 years. That is why the reason it has been chosen in the first place, right? No, हो सकता है. See, everything is a probability, right? 8 out of 10 times मतलब क्या है? 8 साल ने पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट दिया है, 2 साल में नहीं दिया है, दैट मीन्स दैट 2 साल कैन बी नेक्स्ट ईयर ऑल्सो, नो?
यस यस यस
बट
यस
ऐसे
यस।
नहीं होगा कि ऑल द पैटर्न्स विल फेल. 10% will fail, 10% will outperform, 10% will underperform. 80% will perform, but that means your portfolio will perform. Are you able to follow? You are not
यस यस।
risking your bet. ऐसे नहीं कि आप एक स्टॉक लेके बैठ गया for the whole year. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना? You
नहीं
are
नहीं नहीं,
constantly churning your money. तो रिस्क कितना
बिल्कुल।
है? एक तो समय का रिस्क कम है, वेरी शॉर्ट टर्म रिस्क यू आर टेकिंग. पैसे का रिस्क कम है, you can decide how much you want to risk per trade. I have taken a 15% risk. If you can't take 15%, आप 3% का रिस्क लो, आप कैपिटल कम कम कर दो. So all of the parameters you
तो
can.
सर इसको किस तरह से ऑटोमेशन में भी ला सकते हैं इसको क्या? अब स्किल तो
As
हमारे
of
को
now,
बैक
see, unless I have proven data, right, for another 1 year minimum, right? Then if I know that 2026. So by the way, another feature I will publish is live tracking. मतलब I will show you live performance क्या होता अगर आपने इसको ट्रेड किया होता. अभी वो live performance tracking नहीं है. So within a month or two, I will give you live tracking also. So you will be able to see, आपने ट्रेड किया नहीं किया वो अलग बात है. But if you had traded, how would have portfolio would have performed year to date? वो भी मिल जाएगा. वो भी
बट
मिल जाएगा.
सीधी बात ये है कि जो आपका कैलेंडर बन के आएगा उसमें हर इफ एंड हाउ जो भी है हमें वो ट्रेड लेने हैं उतनी कैपिटल के साथ जिससे उसने डिफाइन करे हुए हैं और कंसिस्टेंटली
हाँ,
काम
तो
करना है।
आपने अगर डिफाइन किया कि भाई मैं 5% एलोकेट करूंगा तो आपके लिए 5% ही है.
हाँ 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 हाँ।
Right? You can make
तो फिर
multiple portfolios, right? You can define your criteria. You can say, अच्छा मैं 5%, I will allocate 5% to all the 5 stars. इतना कॉम्प्लिकेट करके कुछ होता नहीं है. Ideally, you keep it
कोई
simple.
फायदा जब जब
हाँ,
एक में बढ़िया मिल रहा तो क्या दूसरे कंप्लीट क्यों करा जाए?
तो वही है, मतलब एक ही कैलेंडर बनाओ, एक ही. वैसे भी 6 ट्रेड आपको दिन में, लेट्स से देयर विल बी डेज वेयर देयर विल बी 6 एंट्रीज एंड 6 एग्जिट्स. Like you have to
यस यस।
literally do 12 entries in a day, right? So that itself is hard work. मतलब हार्ड वर्क मतलब ऐसे कुछ हार्ड नहीं है, मतलब 6 ट्रेड मारने में कितना टाइम जाता है, राइट? नॉट.
5 मिनट लगेंगे।
तो आपको अगर 6 नहीं चाहिए, आप बोल दो मुझे मुझे 4 ही चाहिए मैक्सिमम.
चाहिए।
तो वो आप डिफाइन कर सकते हो ना, ये जो पोर्टफोलियो
बस
बिल्डर
इसका
टाइप.
अच्छा इसको ऐसे भी तो हो सकते हैं जैसे एक जैसे में दिन के टाइम में हमने इसका लिया इक्विटी मार्केट और हम शाम को चाहते हैं जब एमसीएक्स चलता है जो गोल्ड कमोडिटी मार्केट चलती है
हाँ, तो
शाम
वो
को हम।
ऐड करूंगा ना, वो कमोडिटी वाला. लाइक सी, दिस डेटाबेस इज ओनली इंडियन इक्विटी, दैट टू. आई
हाँ
हैव ए डेटाबेस ऑफ कमोडिटीज. I have a database of US equity. I have a
ओके
database of US ETFs,
ओके
right? Each with 10
दैट्स
years of
ग्रेट।
history. वो सब
ओके ओके
आएगा इसमें, और 3 डेटाबेस ऐड होने वाला है एलिट टायर में. वो अभी नहीं है. I have just launched
ओके
because I had to launch.
ओके
I had a commitment to launch by November, and इतना ही मैं कर पाया हूँ in by
ओके
November.
Gautam,
Right?
आप
one query.
आप कहाँ से बोल रहे हो भैया?
Sorry.
आप कहाँ से हो भैया?
I'm settled in Bangalore right now. I'm born and brought up in Calcutta.
ओके
I'm
ओके ओके
settled in
ओके
Bangalore. Yeah, all
Yeah,
my
Gautam,
life
one query is there.
been in the south. Yeah, tell me.
So every year after the ending the year, we are getting new data. So the pattern will change slightly
Yes, so
for
so
the
that
next year.
also, that analysis also is available for you, right? There is a pattern chart that happens. Roughly,
Yeah,
you can say out of 350, maybe 130 will be constant, right? So 130 out
right.
of 350 कितना होता है? मतलब 40% रहेगा, 60% because see the thing is, first of all, your holidays don't match. Weekends अलग है,
Yeah.
right? आपका 2026
Mhm.
का कैलेंडर ही अलग है ना 2025 से.
Right.
So you can't trade on weekends. First of all, that is one limitation, है ना? I cannot
Mhm.
recommend you a pattern that starts on Saturday, can I? तो वो एक
Right.
constant है ना? So it
Mhm.
cannot make the same calendar every year. It is not possible.
Right.
It will find a pattern which starts on Monday rather than on a Saturday. Are you getting me? It will
Yeah,
skip the
even the
pattern.
yeah,
हाँ.
even the previous year data, suppose there is some changes will happen. Some
No, so it's
patterns will
it's a
not
rolling
work.
10 years. See, right
Yeah,
now, the whatever you're seeing on the screen is built on data from 2015 to 2024, which is your 10 years of data. Correct?
correct, correct,
Now, the
correct.
moment I have 2025 end hoga,
Yes,
2025 will be added to the backtest and
correct.
2015 will be removed. So
Right.
there will be a new backtest, a new database. So maybe this pattern
Yeah,
number itself will change. Are you
correct,
getting me?
correct. That's what I want to hear.
हाँ
Yes, correct.
तो ये डेटाबेस पूरा चेंज मतलब सी इट इज नॉट लाइक एवरीथिंग विल चेंज सी क्या हो सकता है सी द थिंग इज यू हैव एडेड 1 ईयर यू हैव रिमूव 1 ईयर तो स्टैटिस्टिक्स चेंज हो जाएगा ना मान
Right.
लो कोई 80% था वो 90% हो सकता है कोई
Right.
90% था
That,
वो अस्सी
yes,
परसेंट हो
yes.
सकता है राइट वो चांस
So it
होगा
will be a dynamic. It will be a
हाँ
dynamic.
it will be
Every day.
dynamic and all these statistics will refresh for you at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year it is only once in a year you need to refresh you don't need to refresh
Correct.
during the year because it doesn't make sense
सर
Okay.
वन क्वेश्चन एक क्वेश्चन और मेरे दिमाग में था जैसे मैंने अभी आपका एक शेयर में चेक किया था उसने 8 दिन का आपका डेट बोल दिया था टाइम और 8 दिन के टाइम में क्या हुआ था जो उसने पिछले ऊपर का रेजिस्टेंस था पहले उसने बीच करके और फिर नीचे स्टॉक गिर गया जब 8वें दिन में उसका टाइम आया उसका एग्जिट करने का अगर हमें ऐसे पता होता है कि ये स्टॉक का ऊपर रेजिस्टेंस है तो हम वहां पर उसको अपने मैनुअल भी तो काट सकते हैं
So
काट पर
so see this algorithm has not done any stop loss, but I would always recommend to put a stop loss, right? And I will teach you statistically what is the right stop loss. So that is also given for you here, right? This var p number, this is effectively उसके साथ थोड़ा add करके मतलब round up करके you put a 1% stop loss on. If you are trading this pattern, then your right stop loss is 1%.
नो 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 मैं स्टॉप लॉस की बात नहीं कर रहा
अच्छा
ऊपर जैसे जैसे हमने कोई चीज 104 में हमें बाई करी हमने डे एंड पर
हाँ
ठीक है
ओके
और हमें 112 पे उसका रेजिस्टेंस दिख रहा था कि 112 पे इसका रेजिस्टेंस है ऊपर ठीक है अब
See, it has not
वो 112
analyzed
तीन
price. It has not analyzed price patterns at all. Please understand
हम्म
this. It is a pure and pure time play.
टाइम प्लेस अच्छा
I
अच्छा
have
अच्छा
gone and analyzed the data only based what has happened to this stock from this
हम्म
day. If I bought on this day and sold on this day, how much return it would
हम्म
generate? And I have
ओके
generated a number. There is a
ओके
if you generate
ओके
10 numbers, उसका average निकल सकते हो, right? That is what this
आगे निकाल दे ठीक
this
ठीक
is
ठीक
that is
ठीक
what this is showing you, right? See,
हाँ
on top of this, if you think that it has already delivered and you want to exit, you exit. But that is your decision.
योर डिसीजन
The
ओके ओके इट्स माय
algorithm can't make such complex decision, right? Algo को
हाँ
simple रखना है, right?
हाँ
If you want to
ठीक ठीक
improvise on top of that, that is your strategy, right? That is not
हम्म,
something that the see algo cannot go and selectively do all that things. No, then it would
हाँ
become
हाँ
it
हाँ
has to
हाँ
be a
हाँ
very different system, right? It has not
yes,
considered price at all.
हम्म
Only price thing it has considered is entry price, exit price. That's it.
ठीक ठीक
हाँ.
ठीक थैंक यू
And
सर
based
थैंक
on that, only the analysis is based. No, ये जो numbers
यू
निकल के आए हैं, it is just simply based on the end of day closing price on the entry day and the end of the closing price on the exit day. उसका
एग्जिट डे
difference निकला है, उसका difference से percentage निकला है.
परसेंटेज निकला
And whenever there is a consistency of that percentage, right, that mean return काफी है, and
हम्म
it has given a positive return on all the years, right, 70, 80, 90%. That is my trustable pattern. I will trust a pattern that has behaved certain way across the years. देखो
डन डन
ये
डन
स्कोर भी इधर है यूकेएस स्कोर इज 100 मतलब दिस इज ए 100 परसेंटाइल पैटर्न इसका विन रेट 100% है मतलब इसके इसमें नेगेटिव
मतलब आप
रेटिंग है ही
प्रॉफिट में जाओगे या लॉस में
नहीं
जाओगे इसमें बस
लॉस है ही नहीं मतलब लॉस मतलब देखो 0.8% मे बी इट इज
हाँ
क्लोज टू नो
इट्स
रिटर्न
नॉट
बट लॉस तो नहीं हुआ ना
हाँ लॉस नहीं हुआ
लॉस नहीं हुआ है दैट इज
लॉस नहीं हुआ इट इज
हाँ सो
दैट्स
देयर आर
फाइन
अबाउट एज ऑफ नाउ इन दिस डेटाबेस देयर आर अबाउट 22 sorry there are 1678 patterns there are 5 stars right and if you want 100%ers there is only about win rate 100% there is 277 patterns जिसमें 100 की मतलब 10 out of 10 it has given you profits are you getting it
दैट्स फाइन
इसमें bearish भी है but bearish see ranks below the bullish can you see bearish rank कहाँ से आ रहा है 13 पर it is on page 13 whereas on first page there is only bullish patterns that means what see I have I have adjusted the numbers in such a way that bullish and bearish patterns are comparable
यस
right
यस यस
now when you compare all the patterns and rank them obviously the bullish patterns wins more in terms of their profitability and all that numbers you will see that bullish patterns is because see, the market is inherently bullish you try and understand this if you look at nifty if you look at Jan 1 and Jan 31st, how many years has happened in the last 10 years that Jan 31st Nifty was lower than Jan 1st? Can you find one single year?
नो
No, right? Except 2008, there is not a single year. No, at least in my back test, there is no such data. Now, Now you can argue that, Gautam, what if 2026 is entirely different? Well, that's very hard for me to answer, right? Because that situation has not happened. So I don't know. But see, I showed you at least in 2020, COVID crash happened, but our portfolio has performed. So that should give you some confidence, if not full confidence. See, what would be great for me personally, I'm saying for this strategy, मान लीजिए, the next 5 years is bearish. But even if the portfolio performs, right, using the same strategy without changing any logic, then I will know इसमें दम है. See, right now, based on the last 10 years, I know इसमें दम है. But will it perform in the 5 years? Honestly, I can't say.
I can't say.
Right?
Yes.
And neither can your mutual fund say, right, that they will guarantee. बोलता
म्यूचुअल
है
फंड
क्या कोई
में तो
म्यूचुअल फंड
स्टॉप लॉस होता ही
गारंटी?
नहीं।
अगर कोई बोल रहा है
म्यूचुअल फंड
guaranteed
में
return, या तो झूठ बोल रहा है, या तो nobody can guarantee returns, right, in this market.
बस only protection is stop
Stop
loss.
loss.
Only
Stop loss,
protection is
right?
stop loss.
हाँ, तो आप
Only
इक्विटी में, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू आर डूइंग इट इन इक्विटी, सेकंड ऑफ ऑल यू आर डूइंग इट फॉर 2 से 5 दिन, राइट? कितना जाएगा पैसा आपका एक एक ट्रेड में?
5वें दिन भी आपका स्टॉप लॉस अगर पीछे हिट होगा तो काम खत्म आपका। 5 दिन से पहले मान लो 3 दिन में आपका स्टॉप लॉस हिट हो गया,
हाँ तो हो गया, तो छोड़ दो उसको,
खत्म,
पैटर्न को।
काम खत्म। तो वो आपको मतलब बेसिकली ज्यादातर लॉस तो आपका स्टॉप लॉस का ही है बस, जो कि आपका बहुत निगोशिएबल है।
नहीं, यू विल गेट मोर पैटर्न्स ना, नेक्स्ट वीक
हाँ,
आपको मिलेगा, अगला वीक मिलेगा, तो
अगला हाँ
एक पैटर्न गया तो जाने दो.
जाने दो।
इट्स द लॉ ऑफ एवरेज, नो? ऑन एन
लॉस
एवरेज,
है, हाँ बिल्कुल।
बिकॉज सी यू हैव
10 में से अगर आपकी 6 ट्रेड भी लॉस में जाती हैं और 4
you
ट्रेड
have
आपकी
you
प्रॉफिट में
have
जाती है तो ज्यादा
350
बेटर है।
trades. I mean, imagine like 350 divided by 12, right?
हाँ,
That's about a
30
trade a
ट्रेड।
day. Almost in every day you have a trade. तो उसमें से 30-50 भी लॉस में जाएगा तो क्या जाता है?
कोई याद नहीं है, ठीक, क्योंकि आपका विन रेशियो आपका अच्छा है ना,
हाँ.
विन
The-
रेशियो 5 होती है बस खाली।
See, I showed you, no, through the back test that only 1 month out of the 120 months it gave a negative return cumulatively. That too, only minus 1.5%. Whereas, on a good month it is giving 20% return.
यस,
Right? So that's the thing, right? See, the thing is, the character of the market has been inherently bullish in the last 10 years, and that is what is captured in the data. Now, if the entire character of the market change and, every year, matlab December 31st, it ends lower than Jan 1st consistently. I mean, that is
yes,
very difficult. I don't think I have seen a bear market last more than, I mean, the worst was, the 2008 में जो हुआ था. That also you go and count, no? The number of months, you take the entire Nifty ka data, you count the
yes,
number of positive months versus the number of negative months. You will find the answer.
yes,
Nifty has been inherently bullish throughout history. And that is
बिल्कुल,
also reflected in the data, in the patterns. And data doesn't lie, right? These are all statistical analysis. I have not invented anything here, right? I've just portrayed it in a way that, that makes sense.
fine sir, fine.
Sir,
Any other
sir,
questions?
one more doubt. Sir, one more
Yeah.
doubt.
हाँ बताइए.
Sanjay,
Yeah, please tell me.
in this we have indices also, sir.
Indices is there. I have purposefully left them out because indices would require futures and options trading.
Yeah.
Right. But those who are in my elite, I have already shared. I will indices का database भी है, वो भी accessible मैं करा दूंगा यहाँ पे.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Gautam, what is the ideal setting you would suggest or recommend?
Setting मतलब setting.
मतलब standard in terms of अगर इतना X number invest कर रहे हैं तो क्या setting मतलब aggressive approach रखना चाहिए या which is the ideal जिसमें ROI अच्छा हो?
See, obviously, aggressive will give you more ROI, right? That is a given because you are letting your capital, work more harder.
Okay.
Right? मतलब, see, it's simple logic है ना भाई. If you are putting 60 rupees when you can put 90 rupees, that means आपका 30 रुपया is not working for you, right? It's idle पड़ा हुआ है. But that is your assessment of risk, right? You don't never want to risk more than 60% at any given time. That is your personality. So that if you are a risk-taking kind, you take that. That is, I've given you that flexibility. See, that is why I'm saying you put, at least for the first year, you put that much money that even if you lose, right, it will not bite you.
Okay,
You will
got
not
it.
lose. You will not lose, first of all, right? you will at least, get decent returns more than your mutual fund would give, right? It will definitely beat your mutual funds, right? But let's say, Nifty ने minus 100% दे दिया. I mean, 100% तो नहीं हो सकता है, but what is the max Nifty has done? Minus 50-60% किया है ना 2008 में. मान लो ऐसे कुछ ईयर आ गया. It can come, right? Future is not predictable. I can't predict, no, what Nifty will do in 2026. That nobody can predict. So once I experience that, that will be a new experience, right? I mean, which has, which is not captured in this data right now. Right? But even then, right, your risk is very much limited. See, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है कि even in a bearish year कि हर एक month drop करते जाए Nifty. There will be months there where Nifty wave होता है ना. So there will be 3 months drop, 2 months rise, again another 3 months drop, again another 1 month rise, like that. So some patterns will give you returns. Some patterns will, and then see, your maximum risk in a trade is defined by your stop loss, first of all, right? So your loss is maximum 1, 2, 3%. But your returns can be phenomenal, right? I mean, some pattern can give you 20%, or returns are unlimited. No, you are not, see, you are not restricting your returns. Please understand this. You are restricting your loss. Please try and understand this, right? You can restrict your loss, you will never restrict your return. Because you don't know whether it will give you 30% or 20%. Let it do whatever it does. You have a time window, let it run the full length. ऐसा हो सकता है कि लास्ट दिन में आपको प्रॉफिट देके जाए. ऐसा हो सकता है कि इन बिटवीन पीक कर जाए. इफ यू वांट टू एग्जिट यू कैन एग्जिट. ऑल द डेटा इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू नो दैट एवरेज इतना दे रहा है. अगर डबल मिल गया एवरेज का तो एग्जिट कर दो. यू आर गेटिंग माई पॉइंट, राइट? और होल्ड इट. If you don't want to make it complicated, you hold it. Otherwise, you have to do your own accounting, because this calendar is built on the principle that you are exiting and entering as per the calendar given. Now, if you are following your own calendar, then you have to follow your own calendar, right? Then your calendar and this calendar will not match. Right? So as long as you are aware of that, you can do whatever, right? I mean, because it is not possible to, I mean, see, your trading decision is your trading decision, right? This trading decision is based on a certain algorithm, and the algorithm is fixed.
Sir, just I understood that, see, even for beyond the 5 days, we can go through the trading stop loss, huh, sir?
Sorry?
See, on a average, you have been told to hold that Monday to Friday for 5 days.
No, I'm not telling anything. See,
No, not telling, but the database is telling that minimum to four to more than 3 to 5 days. So beyond that, if we want to carry that trade, so by trailing stop loss, we can carry forward the trade up to the maximum extent up to
Yeah, but what happens to the next week's trades, right? So either you have
the capital will be locked. Yes, you understood.
Capital will be locked. So either you continue with that and you lose out on some of the trades that comes after this, and your calendar and your positions and calendar becomes out of sync at that point. So
As per our confidence, we can increase our capital. That's up to us.
That is your strategy. See, you can build your strategy, no? Who is stopping you?
Understand. But you have given an example that so that we can build ourselves.
Because I can't take all such permutations.
Understood.
Infinite हो जाएगा, right? You are understanding, right?
By basing of your strategy, we'll get more ideas.
I don't know which pattern Srinivas will like and continue with that with the trailing stop loss, right? That is a very personal decision.
Understood.
So you can do whatever you want. You can exit 50%, you can remain let the run, right? That is completely up to you. If you have capital, see, if you have
As
infinite
per
capital,
our experience and all, we'll do it. Yes, understood.
if you have infinite capital, you can trade 1,000 patterns also instead of 300 patterns.
Yes, sir.
But we don't
the
have
base platform you have been providing, that's very good. So that on this basis, this thing we can build ourselves. Yes.
See, after that, you want to be selective. You want to apply combined technical analysis, your own analysis, your setup, SMA, Bollinger Band, whatever you want to apply. To you, I'm not telling you. I'm not stopping you. I'm not telling you that also.
No. Yes, understood.
I'm telling you that this time to this time is the best time.
The best time that it has been performed and given this the average return, so that you can do the same thing.
But does it guarantee that it will return 11% next year? No, it doesn't guarantee, right? Please understand that this is the law of average, right? So some years it will give exceptional return, some year it will give underperform, right? On an average, it has given 11%. So as long as you understand the basic maths.
Here, basically, the thing is that the big challenge is the stock selection. The big challenge of stock selection has been ruled out here.
Yeah, I've solved that problem for you, no?
Yeah. That's ruled out. And as far as the ruled out, and you are given one more step, that up to how many days you can hold, and the minimum average return you can get also. You have been giving that.
And it's all in front of you. Nothing is hidden, right? You can go and take the results. ऐसे नहीं कि
Sir,
आपको जाके
one more
back
thing,
test
sir.
करना पड़ेगा. You don't have to even do the back
Sir,
test.
one more thing. As you said, there is only partial data for 2025. And may I know up to which month it has been there, sir? Here, you have
No,
the
2025 data doesn't even is not even there in the back test.
Acha. Okay, so up to 2024 December, the data was there. So have you tested for 2025? Is there any?
That is what I told. No, I will add one more feature called live tracking. So आपको how this portfolio would have performed year to date. Let's say you are in Jan, right? So on Jan 15th, you will know how this portfolio would have performed.
That also will be the back tested with our live
Not
performance.
back tested. With live data, I will show you how it would perform.
Oh, for 2026, you will be showing, sir. What about 2025? If up to
2025 would be added to the back test, no? See,
Yeah, it will be added, sir. My question is, up to 24, you have the data. Have you done any run test, or you have done any manual thing for 2025 basis of the up to 2024 data?
No, that feature I have to build, right? So that
No,
live
not
tracking.
feature, sir. Is there anything anyone has done, or why? Because today is the first day I've been attending to you, so I have not come to the earlier sessions.
No,
So
nobody has. I don't think I'm not sure if anybody has done. At
I
least
just I just checked two stocks and it works. It is
yeah.
working.
No. So I will make that transparent in the platform itself. I will give you year-to-date performance for all the patterns that has already been expired, right? For that, let's say I am sitting on what? On 20 whatever, some 27th of November, right? Which
Yes,
I
sir.
have all the data till 26th of November, correct? Now,
Yes,
whatever
sir. Yes, sir.
patterns was there, right? Tradable,
Hmm.
from Jan 1st to 26, I have all the data. So I will
Yes, sir.
simply have to do the maths, no, of
Yeah,
entry and exit.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That
sir.
data I can make it. I just have to download, and all that process has to be built,
Yeah,
right?
it just the data to be appended and just
So it is just
understood.
work. I have to do that work. I have not done that.
That just data to be appended. Yes, understood.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So
very good.
every day, it can give you live year-to-date performance. What would have happened in this year, that also you will be able to know.
Here, the main two hurdles which you have been ruled out for us. The one is stock selection, and which day we have to get in and which day to
Because
exit.
see, manually doing this is impossible. Let me tell you this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood.
I have learned this. Let me tell
Sir,
you, I have
I
learned
was there
this
in this market from last 15
strategy.
years. I know very well.
I learned this strategy.
Nowadays, you are able to get this software, this website, Google, this, that. When you go for last 15 years back, where you will get all this information? Nothing. When you get small magazine, or you will get that business
Dalal Street.
paper, Dalal Street newspaper, so, or someone call from Mumbai, hey, you buy this rare. That only will be the things that will be go up or go down. Who don't know, no one knows.
So this basically takes guesswork out of your system.
Yeah. Everything was been transferred from your end. The only thing, the execution part, is the
Yeah, see,
capital
the only
deploying, and
thing
is our
I
part.
cannot say with 100% confidence that will it work in 2026? I don't know. It should work because I have seen it work for the last 10 years, right? That is the best way to answer that question, right? Because
As per your this thing, the history will be repeating, sir. Understood.
see, even if it performs worse, even if it gives 30% return, that is still good, no, compared
Sir,
to.
when we are very much confident that tomorrow will be the sun rising, and
No, see,
by
let's
the
say
day end it will be moonlight.
try and
That
understand this, right? In a year where Nifty gives negative 50% return, right? Even
Mhm.
if my portfolio gives 30%, that is like an 80% outperformance. Are you
Yes,
following me?
yes, sir.
But in
Obviously.
a year where Nifty has given, let's say, 50%,
Mm.
and my portfolio gives 200%, still, it is beating Nifty.
Sir, all the stocks doesn't follow Nifty, sir. Nifty route is different.
So these are
Other
all
stocks
small
different.
caps, na? These are all small
Yes,
cap
sir. Yes,
stocks,
sir.
na?
See,
Yeah.
every day some stocks will be gainers, some stocks will losers. They are nowhere compared, they are nowhere related with the Nifty 50.
Correct.
Nifty 50 is different and all others are different. So that
Right.
here we have been ruled out how to select the stocks, when to select the stocks, where to select the stocks, and
Right.
when we have to deploy. As you
Yeah.
said, the timings, there is a good time before the market closing, after 3 to 3:30 in between. It is a very good time.
See, it is all based on time.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
This is
yes.
you have found the best time to trade each pattern. That's all it is doing.
Yes,
And the
sir.
job of the portfolio manager is one of selection. See, it has so many good patterns. The problem is of choice.
Yes.
I have limited capital. मेरे पास 100 rupees है. I can't put no 10 rupees. I will be exhausting my capital, no, after I do 6 trades, let's say.
Sir, as you shown that that 15% of allocation for each stock up to for 1 lakh 6 stocks.
Now, see,
Can we
you have
select nine stocks, sir? Can we select nine
yes.
stocks?
So these are your adjustment levers, right? Let's say you
Okay.
want to up how much capital you want to invest of your total capital. Let's say you want to put 60% capital, right? Maximum. And how many positions you want? You said 9.
9.
Okay.
Yeah, acha. Yeah, good.
Right? So that means your position size is 6.7% of your capital.
Yeah, understood.
Are you getting? So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now I can build a portfolio.
Yeah.
Uh, so now I can build a portfolio which will follow your allocation. Let me show that to you, right? So that you know that it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now if you go to the calendar, right? If you open this, you see how much allocation percentage, 6.7%.
Okay.
You're getting it, right?
Hmm.
And look at the number of active. It has
And
dropped.
as you said, it is 6.7%. Whether it is giving
See, the performance also is significantly weakened, right? Because, of all these factors, right? So all these things are there. You can see, how things dynamically things will change. I don't know what filters is chosen. Let me check. अच्छा it is a filter set अच्छा
100%.
तो इसको remove करो and then go and do that, right? So go to advanced settings and then let's say you want maximum 60% of your capital to be deployed and you want, let's say 10 positions, right?
Yeah, good.
Which means 6% per position, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say you want 12 positions maximum.
Whether it is going to check
Maximum
the
5% can be allocated, right? Because 5 times 12 is 60, correct?
Yes, sir, understood. Yeah.
So now you go and build a portfolio. Now
It is
your
giving
risk
the
is
warning.
minimized, no? Because you are only putting 5% per trade. Risk is minimized further. And you are only keeping 40% idle only. You are not even trading that. That is also risk minimization only. Meaning if you have 100 rupees, you are only putting 60 to work. You are not putting that 40 to work. It is buffer capital.
Yes, sir.
Right? So now see the portfolio return is slightly dropped, but it is still a decent return, right?
Yeah, it is a good return.
If you look at the utilization is also very decent, right? If you go to the calendar, you will see अभी 12 positions आ रहा है, ठीक आपको 12 trades भी लेना पड़ेगा. See, there are 12 entries it will give you. No, right? You have to have the capacity to
It's a
execute
good
12 trades.
diversification. Good diversification. Yes.
So now your portfolio consists of 12 stocks instead of 6 stocks. You're getting it, right? See, all of this is dynamic. No, I've did it on front of you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
this calendar is prepared dynamically in front of your eyes. So
Mm-hmm.
like that, you can prepare different.
Only we have to know where to get the options and how to filter out. And one or two times when we do that, we'll be familiarized with it.
See, you need about 1 year of testing in the live market to build confidence for any system, right?
Yes, sir.
So imagine this is a year of trial, this 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine 2026 market बुरा रहा but फिर भी performance किया, then it is a positive thing, right? Same thing happens in 2027 and we do well, right? Then it is almost we have found a magical strategy which no matter what the market is doing, you still make alpha. That is where the name alpha, seasonality alpha. Alpha means what? Alpha means profits, right? So no matter what your market is doing, you are supposed to make an alpha.
In the 2026, already someone has been informed that up to October it will be performing, and there will be some bearish thing and something else in the month of November, December, and 26.
See, if I have to look at all of this world news, this, that, and then it will become an analysis paralysis, I will not be able
Even
to
for
trade.
that, one more thing, even for this December and Jan also,
Uh,
before budget, first of February, normally we'll get the budget. Before
uh,
budget itself, they are giving very good uptrend of this market.
yeah, see, again, for those elite members, they already have Nifty का जो monthly intra-month charts है उनके पास, so they know, what is a good periods, right? Where, in fact, you can use that for your FNO trading also, right? Because you can pick those periods where Nifty is supposed to do well, right? So there are.
Where can I get those things, sir? I will.
I'll share, just ping me on WhatsApp. I will share
Yeah,
one sample
the
report.
error screenshot also have been pinged to you, sir.
Or maybe, when I do that masterclass, right? I will show that because I will have more time to cover a little bit more topics.
Fourth, fifth, and sixth, no, sir. Yes.
So fourth, fifth, and sixth, I will take a little
I
bit.
know you're giving that schedule on the WhatsApp so that we'll be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will cover the mindset part, how you can, sort of think about wealth and, how you can overcome your limiting beliefs. Because a lot of the times, we are stopped by, not acting, right? If you act, that will always give you some result, right? It may be positive, negative, whatever it is, right? See,
Yes, sir.
the thing is, how I conceived about is because, I faced a particular challenge, right? In my business, so to speak, right? I was not able to, run the ads all of a sudden, right? So,
One small example, sir.
yeah.
See, जब तक वो खाना पकाएंगे ना, वो खाना स्वाद तो लेने के बाद तो ही पता चलेगा वो कड़वा है, मीठा है करके कुछ.
So see, so that
Unless,
is why,
unless
yeah.
See,
So
there is a small story when we used to listen with our grandparents. The fox used to jump to get the grapes, so that when the grapes were so far, it is thought that they were sour, and the fox has gone away. So until and unless we get the grapes and we eat.
but look at this wonderful thing. Here, not even a single negative month in
Yes, yes,
in
yes, yes.
this portfolio, whatever we have done with, see, because you're taking less risk, can you see that it has also eliminated that negative month? देखो आपका overall return कम है, but you are consistent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Using your settings, which is,
Hmm.
this one, like your capital is 1 lakh, your max utilization is 90%. Max, अच्छा, I think it has not updated. तो यहाँ पे शायद hard coding है. I have to update. So, but here you can see, what is your settings actually.
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Gautam,
Yes.
I'm taking your leave. Good night.
So
Sorry.
you are satisfied, right, with what you saw, right?
You wait for my questions afterwards.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Okay. Chalo then. Bye. Good night.
Yeah. So anybody else have any questions? Because I think it's been a long session. So and anyways, if required, I can hold a small session tomorrow as well, and then I'll continue, on fourth, fifth, and sixth.
One more request, sir. Just that error, you could just.
This error. So maybe, give me some time. By tomorrow morning, afternoon, or evening, I
Yes,
should be
sir.
able to fix
So
this.
until and unless that error has been rectified, none of us can be check the
So
things.
yeah, so that is. So now I realize there is an error because see, so far nobody else has tested, no, other than me.
Yeah. And one more thing, sir. There you are given one
Gautam sir,
ping request also. That also we sent. So that you have to accept, and these the two tasks things, sir.
So all of you who are facing challenges, no, please send a screenshot to this number, and I will take a look. Yeah, please note down this number and share a screenshot on this. Yeah.
Gautam sir.
Yeah.
अभी मैं सवाल can I ask something because I'm trying from last, like the discussion is like quite a long, like continuous one-on-one conversation for like one person. Okay, I respect that time, but because of this only the count dropped from 47 to 24 because not everyone is interested with what strategy you're asking on one-on-one. You should understand like people respect timings. And my question is coming to that question is, did your system today rectified SRF?
Sorry?
Did your system rectified SRF today?
Rectify मतलब?
Like आपके जो ये AI बेस्ड जो आपने किया हुआ है, जो बिल्डअप है आपका, जो अपना प्रोडक्ट है, इसमें
SRF?
आज हाँ SRF का आज ट्रेड्स सामने आया था?
So I don't know. I have to check. So you mean in November SRF, right? So
November today.
So see, these are the SRF patterns for November. There is one pattern, in fact, किस November 21 to 24th November एक है pattern.
25th to 30th is there, sir.
And there is another one. There is a
22,
bearish
30th.
one. And there is a bearish one. Yeah, 25th to 30th November is also there. One pattern. And these are the details of that pattern. This is a one star pattern though, which means the reason is because see, ऊपर नीचे है,
I
right?
think SRF is for December, not November.
No, I have put November filter, no? So these are
Okay,
all
okay. But SRF is, it comes in, it reflects in December.
December में एक ही pattern है 24 to 30.
Eh?
And this is a 90% win rate 2-star pattern. Yeah, it is a good pattern. Good
Because I'm a time trader myself, Gautam sir. So and plus vibrational trader. So because of this, I traded today and I took an entry 2 days back. So today it blasted and booked at a very good level. So I just want to confirm that your system and my system is working on a fine level, because then only I can auto tune myself into this system.
हाँ देखो ना, ये था एक पैटर्न SRF का.
नहीं सर, मैंने bearish भी ट्रेड किया है और आज रिवर्सल लिया. एंड कैन यू चेक वन मोर फॉर मी, दैट इज इंटरग्लोब एविएशन, दैट इंडिगो.
इंडिगो है क्या, देखना पड़ेगा.
इंडिगो होगा सर, बड़ा काउंटर है, FIS का फेवरेट है.
Fail to low.
Gautam, Indigo was part of your seasonality, जो है ना, indicator. उसमें Indigo is part for December this month.
Is the name Indigo or something else?
Globe, Interglobe Aviation.
Interglobe.
अगर 10th नवंबर का कोई पैटर्न है तो ठीक है.
I think Indigo is probably missing from the database. I have to check why. Maybe उसका डेटा नहीं है 10 साल का. That is the reason.
हो सकता है.
I don't take any stocks with less data, right? That is the constraint I have. I may have removed Indigo because of that. Just check, when the Indigo was listed.
मैं देखता हूँ सर.
हाँ, तो अगर वो last 5 years में लिस्ट है तो वो मेरे
2015.
अभी 10 साल होंगे अभी.
हाँ, तो वो देखना पड़ेगा क्यों नहीं है. Maybe the quality of the patterns are not good. It is possible, right? I'll check Indigo का क्या हुआ है.
क्योंकि एक हैवी वेटेड काउंटर है सर, टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक. एविएशन में इसका कंपटीशन स्पाइस जेट है एंड वो आपको पता कैसे परफॉर्म करता है. And Dr. Reddy one, because we are not checking Interglobe, so Dr. Reddy, because we got a time cycle correction on this in this particular month when it free fall for 4-5%.
डॉक्टर रेड्डी का नवंबर में
यस
एक ही पैटर्न दिख रहा है एज पर द सिलेक्शन. फ्रॉम 15 to 18 नवंबर एक बेयरिश पैटर्न था.
और अक्टूबर में
3 पैटर्न्स था, 2 बुलिश एंड 1 बेयरिश.
ये लास्ट सर्कल में गिरा 29 के बाद. इसकी कनाडा वाली न्यूज आई थी.
ये देखो पैटर्न में कैप्चर्ड है. ये देखो हिस्ट्री. मतलब it has worked consistently, in this, but you are saying this year it gave negative return, right? In this year.
And इसका काउंटर पार्ट था लॉरस लैब. And I'm not sure, Loras Lab is 10 years old listed.
Loras Labs is also there. 4 patterns है नवंबर में. October.
Last week, Gautam sir, you also detected that metals outperformed Nifty and banks outperformed. So in that SBI, when it crossed a certain level of 741 and 727, did your thing capture that?
See, my simple thing is, I have not applied too much mind, right? I have captured only the best patterns for every period. That's it. I have put a certain scoring algorithm based on win rate and average return and all that, right? So that is captured as basically what I call an UQS score, right? It's called a unified quality score. So इसमें काफी सारे parameters है and basis that it has computed an UQS score. Then उसको stack rank करता है and I pick the top 10 percentile. I call them 5 stars, right? Like that. So there is a scoring engine behind that. If that passes the test, it will be there. I am not selectively chosen कि इसको देखो उसको देखो ऐसे नहीं. I have created a criteria, a very mathematical way of selection, right?
Statistical.
If it passed the statistical test and the maths criteria, then it is there. If it did not pass, it is not there. As simple as that. So for example, minimum 60% win rate here, right? You will never find a pattern with 50% win rate in my entire database because 50% is not even reliable. So any pattern that has 50% win rate will never feature in my database at all. Now, if you want only pick 70%, right? तो उसमें sorry ये अक्टूबर का है. तो if you remove the October filter and if you want only 70% or above, उसमें 12,000 है. मतलब total database में 16,000 patterns है. उनमें से 12,000 has more than 70% win rate. Now, if you go with 80% win rate, it has 6,000 only. Right? So, but then 60%, 80% is more reliable. As you can see, you open any pattern, you will see a very, very consistent performance. This is what I call by winners versus losers. This is the Virat Kohli.
Exactly.
Right? इसका बैटिंग एवरेज देखो, कंसिस्टेंसी देखो. तो ये प्यारा सा पैटर्न है.
एक सीजन खराब है बट
हाँ, मतलब ऐसे है. मतलब see, it's not necessary that just because it has performed, it could be that next year it doesn't perform, right? Can I guarantee that basis on this? But data is telling me that this is the number.
अगर वो अप ट्रेंड में है तो परफॉर्म करेगा.
Right. So, see, if you want to combine a little bit of technical analysis with this, well and good. But technical analysis becomes a very subjective thing, no? I mean, I don't know how to automate that right now. I have no idea. If any of you have an idea and you can suggest something brilliant that I have not thought about, happy to integrate, right? Because I can compute all these indicators also.
We will discuss, sir, because I have something in mind which will do something beautifully over here. I'll tell you.
Get in touch with me and we can get on a Zoom call and discuss.
Done. Thank you for the time. This is and like my questions are in. अभी किसी और को पूछना है तो देख लो.
Yeah, please let me know. Any more questions?
So when do we start, Gautam?
So those of you who have already paid, right? So basically you'll have to, reach out to me. I was planning to, iron out all these issues, right? So that is why I did not roll out. Your effective start date is December 1st only, but I will start rolling out, by this Saturday weekend, yeah, Sunday ko. So the way the process works is I will generate a registration key, right? And that registration key is a one-time use only. You are not supposed to share that with anybody else because if anybody else finds that key and uses this, then they will become an automatic elite member, right? Because they will be able to use the key. So the only thing is as soon as I send it to you, please use it so that that key gets expired because it is a one-time use. So once somebody uses it, and if somebody finds and uses it before you, then there is a problem, right? We'll have to do some manual things, just to get back your account. So that is the process. So you send it. You reach out to me on Saturday, Sunday. I will give you your own unique key. For everybody, I will generate a unique key and I will share.
Sure.
But I'll have to first, iron out these, teething challenges, right? Database.
Sure.
Yes. So,
of course.
next 2-3 days, it will be ironed out. But rest assured, December से आप चालू हो जाएगा आपका, and then you have anyways a 3 months bonus package, right? That I've already added, because I know that 3 months will be a testing trial period. So I've made that consideration. So your effective expiration would be starting December 12 months plus 3 months. That means February of 2027 तक आपका रहेगा this subscription. Got it, right? So December, Jan, Feb. So 2027 December, February tak. Sorry, end of February 2027 would be the expiry of this access. Unless you renew, of course, right? So,
Of course.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, any other questions? Anybody has? Of course, I will do a much deeper session next week. So all of you are invited, and watch out for my messages in the group. And that's the reason I strongly suggested that all of you should at least add yourself to the group so that you can stay up to date, right, with anything that I'm able to communicate, because it is impossible for me to reach out to all of you one-to-one. So you should follow my messages in the group. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll take your leave. All right.
All right. Good night,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next week.